has taken over. My life revolves around this drug. It is the first thing that I think of when I wake up in the morning, and it's the last thing that I think of before I go to sleep. I need help. I'm tired.
Staring out from a doorway inside my head, they said you're gone. Such a dark, empty place where you used to walk. Where have you gone? I want you to know this won't hurt anymore. Lying down in a hole, Esmeralda. Feel your touch, breathe your smell all up in the air. It's dangerous, please. I heard them say as they all turned and looked away, she had such a bright face. I want you to know you won't hurt anymore. Lying down in your hole, oh, Esmeralda.
Cure and Rush.
It is.
And
It's a lot like
a whole bunch of other cool little soup items.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up, Mickey.
Herbs and
Episode
spices.
74, Devine Sorrow and RoseMary in the house. And Mickey's Big Mouth. And Courtney.
Oh, it's
and
a
George.
spice too, isn't it?
And Tweezy.
Soldier by blood.
So this
.com.
is what on earth? What happened to my applause? Did you move it?
I
You
didn't
moved
touch
my
it.
There it is.
Did I?
You moved it. They switched it into my glasses. I'm sorry about that. I went from sitcom laughter to applause, so I apologize for that. But yeah, we started out with Divine Sorrow. Did a little Dirty King. Ended up with RoseMary. We got Brian Chappell in the house. Chappie.
Hey, what's up, dude? You smell so good today.
It's called a shower.
It's called
She
Mania?
smells good all the
Is that what
time.
that is?
It's called
Mania?
Mania,
It's
believe
called
it or
money.
not.
Or, sorry,
A
Armani.
crazy woman
Armani.
wears a cologne called Mania.
That's
Mayonnaise.
better than like the Hawaiian ginger over at PT's back in the day.
Yeah, well, you know.
Or that gal at the
I ran
store
out
when
of
I
it.
was
That stuff
9
was
who sold
good.
the Charlie.
You know, you can eat it and you can wear it. You know.
I'm not here to judge.
I know. And it had glitter too, so
It
there you
did.
go.
Only way you can get that off you is with gas, by the way.
You still keep a gallon in the back
Ask
of your
me how I
truck.
know.
We don't. It's all good. I was there. And we've got Connor and Ash in the house from So we got the young blood and the old blood. Yes. But I will tell you, they think Sonny's a god because he's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I'll take a large cheeseburger.
Well, Sonny would be here, but he took an extended weekend in Nashville. But what I think it is, he went on a food tour. He eats like every 2 hours. It's like a different restaurant.
Is he
And I'm like,
documenting?
Nothing wrong
no,
with
he's not going to be back tonight.
He's a
still,
foodie.
He still found a way to eat like 3 more restaurants today before he left.
I want to do that.
He's crazy.
Wow.
Sonny's our
Man.
Jesus, though. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Everybody loves Sonny.
Yeah,
Man,
who doesn't love Sonny?
point out somebody who don't love that guy, man.
He's the sweetest. He's the most humble, most just nicest guy.
He is.
Really
Yeah.
He's perfect for us. He
I'm
keeps us
serious.
out of trouble.
And we were talking about your gig, and I don't remember which one of you said something about that guitar player. Hey, and I said, you mean this guy right here? Was a picture, and I said, he's standing right there. That's him. So, but he, he used to show up at Parrots at the open jam, and and he talked to the guys, and I said, just give him a few pointers, tell him the easy
Yeah.
stuff. It's not that difficult to do. We're working on looking up and not looking down, and then the bass player Jory, he's held hostage with his family on vacation right now, so we couldn't get a jet out to him to get him here, so he's got SOS on the beach.
Seals
He's
were
like,
busy.
yeah.
Well, it's good. It's and we've
Yeah.
been doing this a long time. So
Right,
I mean, I
exactly.
remember when I was even younger than you guys. I was 13. I got my first guitar. All I wanted to do was play my own music. I didn't like playing anybody else's music.
Right.
I still am the same way at 53. So
Right.
it's like, and the fun part is I still get to do this on a level that's pretty awesome. So.
Right.
I'll
it's-
say.
it feels good. It feels
Damn
good
right.
to still be living my dream
Right.
and having cool people around. I mean, Kat, you've been
people
such
are
a
It's
great
cool
supporter.
it's
of
cool
us.
on a different level. Not
Oh, yeah,
quite the level
definitely.
that you're doing, because you guys are doing kick-ass, man. Congratulations.
We
on
try,
that.
man. It's just
You guys do try. You know what?
It's
it matters.
dedication. It's hard work. It's
hard
It's
work.
2 weeks. It's 2 rehearsals a week, where we nitpick. And I mean, well, when I say nitpick, I raise an eyebrow because
And that's enough.
with,
Trust me.
with my autism, I am severely picky. Like I can hear everything we're
Yeah.
playing. I don't care how loud it is.
I can hear whispering. I can't hear. I gotta have everybody when they're loud. I have to have them repeat themselves.
Yeah. Well, it's like with Sonny. It's like I can tell Sonny's been spending too much time with his girlfriend. Because he'll forget,
Girlfriend
like he'll just be on a wrong note in Mary. Like at the opening the other night,
Oh, I thought you meant like his
we were
legs
running,
shaking on
we were
stage
running
or
Mary,
something. Guys,
and,
Rosemary, no sex before the show.
the opening drop note.
Hates like rubber
He's like
bands.
dun 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 dun. I'm like, what the? Like, and I know it's bad if Mike looks at me and Mike gives me the eyebrow
If
back.
Mike's
I'm like,
giving you the eyebrow,
like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, Sonny,
What's this crap?
quit
really?
playing with your girlfriend so much.
Right.
It's like you're forgetting the song that we played a million times. Come on. But no, the guys are awesome. And the funny thing is once in a while
Don't know.
we'll take a break for like 6 weeks where we just don't rehearse
Right.
because we don't want to burn out. But like we'll go back in for the first rehearsal. Like for this show, we're playing like an hour and 10 minutes. It sounded like a freight train driving through the universe. Like we didn't miss nothing. I mean, it was just like it's such a well-oiled machine at this point that it's like we walk in there and playing with stem tracks and having to play with a metronome and being disciplined. That's the hardest thing in the world is being a disciplined musician.
Always.
Even if
Still no vocals at rehearsal?
still
Or
won't sing at
practice?
rehearsal because I don't want to sing ever. But it's like, but we sit there and we jam, and every time, like after the first one, I'm like, well, I think we're gonna be okay, guys. It's like,
Right.
I think
That's
we're
what it's
okay.
like for
I mean,
us
as long as we don't
sometimes.
die before then,
Right.
because we're so
Don't you
old,
go dying
it's
on
cool.
me.
We'll be all right. But we had a fantastic rehearsal the other day. It just felt so good, and it's just whenever we get back in that room, it's just magic. It's just it's me and my brothers, and
Right.
we have just
Definitely.
been pounding this out so hard for so
Right.
long. It just feels so good.
Okay,
awesome.
so now when did you actually start your band? I cannot remember. It was
This band we started in 2011.
But-
That's when I started Devine Sorrow.
right. That's what I thought because
Yeah.
that's when I first heard you guys and you were
That's
on
when Keishi played us.
right, and you
Yes.
were on, and I grabbed you, and you were on Brothers on
Whatever.
Whatever
Mhm.
with Brando and
The twins.
yeah, the twins. I know it. Nathan and Brandon.
Yeah.
Shaw. I
Yeah.
love those guys.
One
Shout out,
sweeter
woo!
than the other, too.
Yeah, they're so great. They're like bookends.
Oh, they're great. Even Darren Yates had me out like his show. I was doing so many shows all the time that I didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean?
Right. I
And
know.
I'm not worried about him. He does. We don't talk.
We don't talk about him.
I don't talk about him anymore either.
We're not talking about him.
But we aren't buddies.
So I guess they're wrong about old people. They, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, they really can serve a good purpose.
Do you know?
Don't you go dying on me now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you guys first started out, I followed you around and went to all your shows, and it was freaking badass because you're one of the, I would have to say, from 2011 up to now, you're one of the first original artists that is like still doing it and killing it.
We stuck. It's kind of
You
we
stuck.
actually stuck.
You
So
and
that
Conquest,
I was surprised too.
You and Conquest, both of you, old killer musicians, killer sound, both.
Oh, yeah.
Both metal, but on different spectrums, I say.
Yeah,
I would
I-
say because you're both considered metal. But,
it's
but
funny you
it's
say
not
that.
really metal. To
We're
me.
not. We're really.
I wouldn't.
We're a hard rock band. Is what I think.
Right.
I think we're a real.
You're a heavy hard rock band.
I think
You
we're
guys hit
an
heavy.
atmospheric
More
kind of
heavy.
hard rock band, and they're more metal for sure.
Right.
You know,
It's
like
got
Rob-
a George Foreman punch to it.
I
It really
love
does.
hanging out with Rob
Right.
and Tim and Mike. I love those guys, and we have a good time together, and it's a lot of fun, and it's different. We're different than they are. They're more towards they're more reminiscent of a lot of the 80s and 90s metal, and we're more of kind of from the 90s up through 2000s
Right.
with kind of more of the kind of Tool, Perfect Circle, and King's X kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
We're more in that lane,
And when you guys do shows together, you have your both your crowds, which
It's
is
a
freaking
crossover, too,
awesome.
and they all
and,
consider
and
the same
everybody
room.
loves because it's going to be a killer show. I get chills when I think about it. I mean, it's going to be a killer show. And we were talking about the show
So
this
cool.
weekend that you guys are all in, and
I'm
the
so
bands.
pumped.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
gonna
four
be awesome.
different bands, 4 different sounds.
4 different sounds.
So who's starting this? Is it going to be Misplaced Religion first or Sonic Candy?
We don't know. That's up to Topher, and that's up to them first. We don't know who's who in this lineup yet. I don't know that stuff usually until day of show.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to Topher. I will tell you, though, he's always going to be looking at which bands are promoting the hardest for the last week to make sure we got a full venue.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the cool thing was, it's not... What's reminiscent, which I think is really great about this, which reminds me a lot of Mississippi Nights when I used to play there when I was younger with other bands, is that
Whoa.
this place reminds me a lot of that in a lot of ways. In that,
Right.
not many clubs are going to let original bands come in and do that. And
No,
what's really
especially not
cool,
nowadays.
yeah. And I had Johnny come to me and he goes, "Listen, man," he goes, "I want you guys to do this every year. So we're going to do this. We're going to call this Sorrow Fest. Is what we're going to do. And every year, I'm going to try to find 3 bands that are young." That are different from us, and I want to showcase them. I want to put them in front of us and give them a chance as part of our crowd.
Right.
I want to see their crowd. I want to see this collaboration because when I started this, I was 13 years old. My dad spent money we didn't have money for to
Right.
get me a guitar, and I started writing music just
What year-
instantly.
What year
It's
about do you
amazing.
think that was?
And you guys were about that age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
It's so wild because it was only 8 years ago, maybe.
I was the weird unicorn. I mean, like in my school, we had all these killer musicians that were
Right.
just great, And they all wanted to play covers, and they wanted to play
Yeah.
other stuff. And I didn't want to do that. I really didn't. I did, because there really is no other way out, back then.
That's what you had to start with.
But-
You have to start with something.
Even
But
now.
even when I played Expressions, when I played
Right.
Creepy Crawl, all the other stuff,
Right.
I'd play.
Wow,
that
I
would
actually
be my
forgot
own
the
music.
actual name of that club.
It would
That's
be
what it
my
was.
own music.
Right.
And when I could do that, I just felt so free. And at the time, when I was younger, and I'll tell you guys this, as you get older, you're going to have more to write about because you're going to have more life experience.
Experiences.
It's kind of weird. Like when they start, a lot of the songs seem super, super happy when you're younger.
Oh yeah.
And they're, you can hear everything. It's not so heavy. But as you get older and you have a lot of experiences, it changes. And all of a sudden your music you have a choice. You can either keep trying to make people dance or you can try to make people feel.
Yeah.
And the difference between those two things is amazing because the kind of response you get like on Facebook or when people are hitting you on Twitter or trying to reach out to you when you write something that hits them right inside their chest. It's like that connection. I've got hundreds and hundreds of emails from people over the years who had problems in
Relate
their
to it.
family, drugs with this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And when I know that I've helped them, it changes their life. And it changes your life because it makes you want to continue to
Yeah, I'm
do
one of
things
those
that
people.
help them.
Right.
I know that because I'm one of those people.
That's-
There's when you relate to a song, it makes you feel like you're not alone in the world.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like, hey, somebody else has gone through this before, and it immediately becomes yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And I
what-
think-
what is your? Go ahead. Your
Oh,
inspiration.
that's one thing about like our music that we write and stuff is one of like the big compliments that I personally have always gotten from people is that they like how we like the emotions we give off and stuff when we play our music and
You're
stuff.
on the right
and,
path.
And like, I don't know. I've always thought about it because like, you see all these bands that like they're all about show and they're all about like jumping around and like being crazy on stage and stuff. But like, I don't really see. I mean, Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
They
They
just
did their thing.
do their thing, play on stage.
It's funny you say that because with
Brian,
our show,
Yeah.
I'm the lead singer and I'm the bass player. I'm stuck on that mic.
Yeah, I mean,
So I
Yeah.
can't run anywhere. I
Right.
can't do
Yeah.
anything. And
Literally
frankly, I don't want to
glued
hurt
to it.
myself anymore. I'm getting pretty old.
like it's hard to do stuff when you're doing like as a guitarist and a singer and stuff. I have to do all my pedals and everything, and then I already have like my riffs and stuff that
Yeah.
are hard.
Yeah.
So it's like hard. I do what I can, jumping around and stuff. If
And that's
I can.
what it's like with Sonny.
But
Sonny,
it's like,
Sonny is stuck over there, and he's got to play pedal board all
Yeah.
night.
yeah.
Right.
But his stuff's already MIDI controlled and like channel switching and all the stuff for every song. So, but it still requires a lot. Now,
Yeah.
the cool thing I can tell you is you get older doing this, you end up having enough money to get all the gear you always wanted.
Yeah.
So like on mine automatically detects like after the first 4 notes of a song what song I'm playing and makes all my parameter changes.
That's cool.
So
Okay,
I
that's
don't
really
have.
cool.
That's really cool.
So I don't have my rig's gigantic. You'll see, it takes
yeah.
a lot of space.
It's,
But it's like we have a 14-foot trailer.
What was the
It's just our
nickname for
back
that
line.
rig?
Crap.
Mine's fine, but Sonny's rig is called Godzilla. Oddly enough,
What was yours
the
called?
rig was called Godzilla before
Right.
Sonny was here. So ironically, you know.
Oh my god.
So-
Alien bird predator.
So we had so
So
much fun
all
with it.
those jokes about rigs
Oh,
and
yeah.
paddle boards and all, yeah.
But Mike,
You've
is
seen
that,
'em.
and I'll tell you what. The thing you learn is that people,
That's the biggest rig I've ever seen.
some people that don't. I'm not there for the people that are shallow. I'm there for the people that want something. And the
Yeah.
thing is,
Give it to
I
us.
think the thing that our
Give it
band
to us.
that people really recognize is that the 4 of us are brothers.
Right.
We are.
Definitely.
You cannot do a thing to tear us apart. We are just rock solid together.
Oh, yeah.
And when we go on stage, my goal isn't to make you laugh.
Yeah.
My goal is to tear your face off.
Ain't nothing funny
And
about it.
basically
True.
do it as hard as I can.
True.
I want to kick you in the chest so hard that you just go home just going,
Holy
what
shit.
note was that?
go home
You know,
looking
it's
at
like,
that
what are they
footprint on you
doing
going,
with our
"Fuck yeah,
tunes?
look
You
at
know?
this."
Right.
Our songs are in C sharp minor, and we're down low.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm down in A sharp for a
Holy
lot of my
crap.
bass running.
Yeah.
And what we learned is it's not how many cool notes you play. It's how those notes feel. It could be less notes and mean a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And these guys, I'm going to tell you, when you finally know you got things where you want it is when the guys in your band, I bring them in a new song. They're excited for the new song. I show them the parts because I write them all. But then they make it theirs. and
Sure.
they always make it right, and that's what makes me happy. And it's so you finally get to this point where it's not a clown car where everybody has like 10 opinions about what a song should sound like.
Right.
This that. So
Right.
what they do is they ultimately put it's called a recognizable sound.
Yeah.
That's like when you talk about Alice in Chains. You
Can't
know
drop,
when
yeah.
it's Alice
Oh,
in
the
Chains.
second.
Oh,
Yeah, no doubt
When
about
you
it.
hear our music, you know it's us.
Right.
You know, it's recognizable. And a lot of bands try so hard to be so different that they forget how important it is to have that recognizable sound.
Just be
Right.
you.
Right.
That's you.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really matter if you do backflips off the riser or
Yeah.
if you don't wear shirts or whatever the hell you're doing. I'm not into any of that. What I want to do is go up there. I want to shut my eyes at the beginning of the set, not look at anybody while I'm playing, and I want to
mean,
get
you
through
don't
that
see me.
set, and I want to sing those songs, and I
Yeah.
want to play them as hard as I can. And when I walk up the set, I want to be hurt and tired. I want those emotions from those songs to actually
I
make
want my ass kicked.
me hurt.
And I want a
Because
shirt
that's
that
what I
says I
wrote
get
about.
base
Yeah.
footed by.
I want to feel those
that
things. Every time I sing them, I feel those
sorrow
things
fest.
because they're about. Every song is about somebody directly in my life
Yeah.
that is still here or is gone or
Right.
you know they were a substantial part of me. So it's like that's what I'm hoping when I work with younger bands, when we get a chance to do this, you know, we're sharing the stage with you.
Yeah.
We're not more important than you guys. It's all of us doing this together. And the thing is, you learn, some bands learn, some don't, is that it isn't about being a rock star.
Yeah.
Do what you love.
Not at all.
And don't care about all people loving you to death and all the other nonsense. Hug people, take as many pictures as they want to take with you, learn how to make weird faces because it's more fun for you,
Right.
and sign every single thing that they ask you to sign.
Yep.
And when they come to you with a personal story, don't be too busy. Sit there and talk to them
Yeah.
because, man, you might learn a whole lot more about your own music from listening to someone else who hears it.
That's always the coolest thing is when we have fans coming up and talking to us about anything. Just talking to us about the band, the music, one of our instruments.
Yeah.
Like
Feels
when we
great,
played, oh
doesn't
my
it?
god, yeah.
There's nothing better than that, is there?
It's awesome.
And only a few small handfuls of people get that.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you were to play tribute or cover, you'll never have that feeling of something you created on your own
Yeah.
Right.
and got the response to.
Right.
You know, it's like
That's always the coolest.
Just like singing your songs back to you. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I know you're feeling it. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
man, when your song's like, oh my God, I just can't sit still. I mean,
Yeah.
me and Jory's mom, Kim. I mean, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just great songs, just like your songs. I mean,
It feels-
I know you know, and you see it when people are singing your songs back to you.
I'm
Yeah.
always thrilled. Like if I see
That is so
like
cool.
Better than booze
Gail-
and sex put together.
Gail
It really
Gail
is.
sent me Gail made a post one time. You know I'm talking about Gail.
Yes.
Gail, since she goes, I think Brian is my favorite singer in St. Louis because she knows I'm playing my
Abigail?
own song. She thought it was cool, and she's like, and how many singers actually are bass players? And
Right.
believe it or
Yeah.
not, historically there are quite a few.
Yeah.
But it is a rare thing.
Right.
And I only play it because I can never ever find a bass player, and I never ever find a singer, so I end up being the singer and the bass player.
Right,
So and
right.
it's been that way my whole life.
Right.
But that's okay, you know. And I think the thing that I've learned over, especially the last, Jesus, it's been 10 years almost with these guys.
Long
That
time.
is that every time you record something, the music sounds amazing because Jason McIntyre at Sawhorse, we spend 24 hours just recording the music for 2 songs, just getting the tracks.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, and then I'll go back and spend another 12 hours like doing the vocals, and
Right.
and he doesn't let me get away with nothing. He makes me work.
Right.
But
But
we
he-
go through all that, and you get all the music down, and then I don't care who you are as a singer, you hate your own voice.
It's
And I
fingernails
always
on the
go,
chalkboard.
I go in there and I'm just like, well, this is gonna, here goes nothing. You know, now it's gonna all get screwed up.
Right.
But then over time, I guess, even though my voice isn't what I would personally love, you know, when I listen to things, what I found is that there are a lot of people that like my voice, and they like what it does,
Sure.
and I've had to learn to accept that, and I have to stop beating
It doesn't
myself
matter
up.
what you
Right,
think.
same
It
here.
really
It
does.
doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter.
Because we like it. Just
I will-
like we like this kid.
Yeah.
And- okay, so let me ask you this. So going back
People like
to
it.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you first put your band together and you picked out your players and all this. Now, Sonny sings harmonies. Does
Yeah.
he? Yes or no?
Yes, he's
Okay,
background.
so
yeah.
that's what we have an issue with RoseMary is that Drury, our bass player, is learning to do harmonies. Unfortunately, he's on vacation, held hostage by his mama and his daddy. But that's okay. No, so what kind of
Change his
we're trying to
name
get
to
him to step up and just do it. I mean, what kind of is there any kind of tricks or anything that you can say
No,
to get over that fear
and
of
I'll tell you what,
jumping
so-
in there and doing harmonies?
So, it's coming from my own personal experience.
Yes.
I don't like singing. I don't like singing in front of people. I never
Oh
have.
my God, really?
But I'm going to tell you something. Growing up, I thought it was very feminine. I thought it was effeminate. That's why I didn't like to sing, because
You
I
like
was a
girls,
hockey playing machine.
But
and-
you like girls.
You know what I mean? It's like I love to fight on ice skates. I love having fun.
Right.
Did you have a
It's just-
soprano voice or something?
No, and I could sing Steve Perry like I could still sing Steve Perry and you'd be shocked.
Okay.
So
Good
it's,
falsetto?
We have a
it's
good-
kind. Oh no,
We're
it's
gonna
my
hear.
voice.
We're gonna hear it in a minute.
Oh, not tonight.
I know.
It's like, no,
But
no.
I'll
Big
tell you,
difference.
the thing I've learned is that if I don't dwell on it, and like I don't rehearse, I never sing. The only
Right.
times you hear me sing, like I don't sing between gigs. So when you hear me
doesn't.
roar, that's me not singing for 2 months.
Right.
And my guys trust me, so I just come out ripping.
Right.
It's not for everybody, and it's the funniest thing is like if I have a little tiny room with 10 people, I'm nervous. When I played in front of 50,000 people,
It's
That,
It's
yeah,
easier.
that's
It's
how
the
same
I,
bothers me.
I'm the
my
same
first,
way.
The first time I
easier.
ever played on stage in front of
That's so
anybody
great.
ever was at Chesterfield Amphitheater,
Mhm.
and I was like probably in 4th or 5th grade,
Right.
and it was packed.
Right.
And it would just, I remember walking up on stage,
That's a
I was
cool
like, oh, I'm
venue.
going to be so
You felt-
nervous.
yeah.
The second I looked up from the drums and saw everybody, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so fucking awesome.
it's gonna be fun.
Like,
Yeah.
You're gonna
I
have a
was
great
not
time.
scared at all. It was just
Yeah.
like,
It was
yes.
I
like,
always
we made it.
I always refuse to sing in front of like any of my family members. I can't sing in front of them unless
I'm
they're at the
embarrassed.
gate.
I don't want to do it.
Like their
People are
friends.
like,
I
do
can't.
karaoke. I'm like,
You can't make me.
I'm not a sock puppet.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Right.
it.
Oh, I know. I get
It's like I don't. But the funny thing is, if you're lead singer, everybody they think that like you're singing in the shower.
Yeah.
I'm in a band. People think I'm listening to music. I never listen to music.
Were you
Ever.
nominated, Brian?
Because I did.
And just about everything you've done?
Yeah.
Because you
Who's-
could hold the tune?
I can't get these Who's Who people to leave me alone for anything. They drive me insane. It's like they're actually like, I get it if you get the email because a lot of people get that, but like they're
Right.
calling me
Right.
like 5 times a week. They're just like, listen,
Right.
you don't know this, but you're kind of a big deal in singles. I'm like, I'm really not. I'm a chubby old dude. I don't have any hair.
Well, you should make
If
up.
you saw me naked in my room, you'd go, that dude ain't nothing.
You should
I-
make
I'm
up
thinking the
something.
same things when people tell me
Make
that.
up something.
I don't know how.
I'm not good at playing rock star. I'm horrible
Well,
at
then you
it.
should make up a great story.
I got plenty.
Well, there you
They're
go.
all real though. and Most of them are funny and inappropriate. But I would tell you with
And I think
somebody
that
if he
keeps you
doesn't
humble,
want to
bro.
sing, there's a lot of things you can do. And I would tell most bands, once you record something and put it in front of people, that's what they want to hear. So for us, we have on one song, we might have 60 to 70 tracks.
Right.
Our guitars are so heavy that we can't just play out of our amps. So what happens
Right.
is they'll lay down the heavy riffs. Then I go back with a Stratocaster and pick triads clean that sound like the Beach Boys behind it in the chord form, and then we ghost it in so
Wow.
whoever's hearing can hear
That
the
was
edges.
unexpected.
They hear the edges of those notes, so it isn't mush.
Yeah.
Then every single one of those parts gets an acoustic guitar part. Then we take all of the EQ out of it except the string presence, so it makes those guitars feel like there's string presence on them.
That's cool.
And then when we're doing all the creepy noise, like I'll walk in, I go, Jason, I need to feel like someone's running giant sickles across steel bars in a concrete chamber.
I got it.
And we'll sit there
He does it. He does
for
it.
2 hours.
He's amazing.
In Swine,
Yes,
the
yes.
tornado sirens, we couldn't
Right.
find anything we liked. So you know what we did? We created them.
Wow.
Very
And
cool.
we just do this stuff, but I can't recreate that live without stems.
But you
So
can't
it's great.
recreate
So-
live.
So what we find
there.
a lot of times, if we have a difficult backing vocal, we'll put the backing vocal in the track. All my vocals are live. They're always there. If I have a harmony where I'm singing 2 parts, we'll mix that. We'll ghost that in the track, and then we're playing on a metronome. And the thing that we always get afterwards, people go, "You guys sound just like your recordings." Well, that took years of discipline
Oh, yeah.
and learning not to step outside that box.
Right.
Our
Do you
drummer,
play to a click track during practice?
no, yeah, we do. We actually
that's
do.
What I
So we
do,
have to
and
do
it
that.
annoys everybody.
But the funny thing is, if
That
people
would
heard
cut.
what Justin hears on stage, he doesn't even hear our guitars.
No.
All he hears is.
I I can't hear shit.
I ain't mad at him.
And in the other
too.
ear,
Yeah.
and then we change time signatures from 4 to 3 often.
Yeah.
Or 6 to 4, you know. And Justin's sitting there, and all he hears is that, and then the creepy other background sounds in the other ear.
And he plays his ass off.
He loves to play.
did.
He is awesome.
It took me 3
excited.
years to totally understand my drummer.
I would
that's
start
like
hearing
any drummer.
voices.
Right.
I'd
Drummers-
start hearing voices.
Drummers
But-
are
so
from
he
a
sold you
different
that idea.
planet. They are from
Drummers
a
are the
different-
goalies of hockey.
Yes.
They are. And
They are, because
that's
I
one of
learned that the
funniest
same
thing-
thing from my
I
one of
know.
my
That I
drummers.
know for sure is that they're the weirdest dude in the band every time.
Oh, yeah.
Totally, but you don't miss a lick. And
No.
from listening to that, from doing that at practice, I told them, I promised them, they're like, oh, drive me crazy.
It makes you a
I wake up
better
in the middle of the
musician.
night, go, dun,
Right.
dun,
It makes
dun.
you better. Now, sometimes
does.
I wish I could
There's no doubt
just
about it.
break out of the box, but I know that the people that want to watch us, they want to hear those songs, and I want to give them the best audio
Yeah.
representation of that song as I can. But we're not using like full blown tracks. Everything in there is going to be like if there's any reverse pulls or an acoustic guitar part that
I
I,
mean, they're
can't
using
play
MIDI.
above.
You said
We
before,
just
right?
we just put them all through, and it's on a track.
Isn't it on,
Right.
oh, it is? It's not
Oh,
on
it's
time
on.
sync?
We have it on
MIDI
an
time sync?
iPad, a Kindle. We've got it
Time
on
code?
phones. So basically,
Time
back
code
there,
on stage, though? MIDI time
oh,
code?
it's on stage. He's got a little bin that sits next to him with a little 4-channel mixer.
Wow.
We mix it in. One of the channels goes to his headphones.
That sounds
The
way better
other
than
one goes
programming
to
all
the
that.
boards. And we have the sound guy mix them dead center, no effects, as a 5th member of the band.
Yes.
So
Is
they're
his name
just
Phil?
as loud as our, just as loud as our guitars.
Phil.
And so we know that stuff's going to mix in.
That's funny, then.
Yep.
Perfect. We try to make it so simple, and I think that's the hardest part that most young bands struggle with. Like when we were younger, that sound check. You get your stuff the way you need it, okay? And you got to remember, people don't hear what you hear on stage, and you guys know what you hear on stage. It sounds like garbage half the time. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
That isn't what you sound like out front.
No.
Okay, and just trust your sound guy to work with you, unless he tells you to turn way down, and we refuse to do that.
Right.
So I'm going to tell us to turn down, get just the opposite,
Right.
because we don't care.
Right.
We'll turn it up so loud, all he can do is put our drums and my voice through the PA.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If
fine.
it's too loud, you're too old.
You've seen
Get
those
out.
Mesa rigs.
Yes.
They can cover that room,
Yeah.
so that's not an issue. But
Definitely.
it's I think the most important thing is with those stems and learn is to be a disciplined band. And remember, we have a lot of rules in our band. My guys like to drink. They like to have stuff, but you know what? Day of the show,
Nothing.
during the set, nothing.
Right.
Absolutely not a thing. Then
Right.
afterwards, remember, you're still representing yourself in front of a room.
Yeah.
We won't drink on stage. There ain't gonna be pictures of beer going over. You know, we're not doing that. That's for when I was
That's
18
my stage.
and we were being ridiculous.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you something now. And then I don't want them having more than 2 drinks publicly after we play,
Right.
because I don't want a club owner. I don't want our fans looking at us like we're drunk assholes and
Right.
stupid people.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when we go back to our hotel rooms and we go out of
That's
town,
different.
we have to play the game. Who's more Chinese, Justin or Sonny? And you'd be surprised what the answer is.
No, I can't. It's
Okay?
Justin.
It's Justin.
It's always Justin.
It's Justin, drummers.
And Justin is so not there.
He's so funny. Well, he's there. He's just so
freaking
funny.
hilarious.
He comes in, his eyes are just like
I know.
peeled back.
He's the funniest guy.
And Mike is always, you know, by the time Mike goes to bed, Mike's in his tighty whities walking around the hallways,
Right, I know.
sleepwalking. We're just
I
having
know.
the best time ever.
I know.
And I'm always just trying to go to bed. I'm tired.
Right.
I'm not doing that. But
Screw this, man.
but I think it's a challenge for young bands is learning how to get in, be efficient, don't piss off your sound guy. There's another local guy in town that keeps firing his band and starting again and firing his band,
right,
starting it.
Right.
I've seen that guy piss off the sound guy so bad.
Right.
I need
That's
2
game over
vocal
if you do that.
microphones, and this one I need for the. And meanwhile, I'm just going, dude, just play. It's like, get your settings and go. Don't make those guys mad. Those are the guys that ultimately decide how you sound.
Yeah.
There's been another young band that we did some shows with that I won't play with anymore.
Right.
You know who I'm talking-
I was about to say, and the other thing is, besides what he's saying, be courteous to the other players.
Always.
Don't be a dick.
No.
I don't care. I don't care if they're gonna be a dick. Don't be like that. Don't try to one up
Yeah.
them. Just walk away and let it
and
go.
somebody's being a dick,
Yeah.
everybody
Because
knows it. So you
common
don't, you know what I
courtesy-
mean? They'll see it themselves and they'll recognize you
I-
as the people who didn't even
Yeah.
shred
I,
on it.
I always say you never
give
know
it
who your
time of
next
day.
boss is gonna be.
You don't,
Yeah.
and you don't
have
know
to be
who's
nice.
watching you.
And and you don't know. So
So
image is
sometimes you do
everything,
know.
and you just can't be an asshole. If somebody let them be that way, walk
And just
away
be
from
yourself.
it.
with it.
Yeah.
Just be
Exactly.
yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know,
The
because
easiest thing and the hardest thing to do in the world.
Yeah, and be kind to people because here's the thing. The thing that I hate the most, I'll play with multiple bands. I'll be the only guy that thanks every band individually on stage and gets the crowd to applaud for him again later in the show, even before I'll go into another song. Don't be a rock star. You're playing with other bands that are there.
Yeah.
You have to promote each other.
Right,
You
absolutely.
have to promote the show. You have to do things together. Otherwise, those people will never invite you back again.
Right.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
How not to be a dick.
Right.
Don't be a dick. It's that simple.
There's no
Yeah.
such thing as bad publicity. No,
Yeah.
there really isn't. You know, and it goes along with you know, supporting your other teammates because you are all on a big team. So, and also, don't forget to ask instructions or ask directions. It's not going to kill you. If you need to know what to do, or you have, just say, hey, tell me which way to go in, or how should I do this? These guys are all going to say, let me help you with that. Let me help you with that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you-
They're not going to be mad or upset or
No.
anything if you just say, hey, I need a little help.
Exactly. And when we play,
it's all good.
just
You
remember this. It's like we're not too big to not help clear gear off the stage to get the
Yeah.
next band on and off.
Right.
We do it all the time.
Yep.
And you should.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. I've had bands.
I do
They're just
too.
and they, you know, they'll play when you play your set though. The second you're done, because you got other bands, get your shit off the stage.
I try
Yeah.
as fast
Fast.
as I can.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the sound guys still got to get them up. And let me tell you, dead time between kills the audience.
Right.
So you'll see us do that. And if we're on before the next band, you'll see us. The second we end up playing, I'm not out high-fiving everyone. I always tell people, hey, we're going to be back by the merch table in about 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on back. We'll sign anything you want. We got merch. We got stuff. We'll do anything. I always tell them we're in the T-shirt business. We're not in the music business.
It's the
That's
best place in the
store.
world back there too
Okay.
to talk to everybody.
Yeah,
Some
and I'll
people
tell you
say, I
what,
didn't get
it's
time to
like-
talk to you.
Just think about, you want to be back on those stages with those people. And I've learned that from playing with a lot of nationals. Be humble. Because I know what it's like to have Ace Frehley sit on the side of the stage and watch me play the whole set. I know what it's like to watch
Be
the dudes
humble.
from Filter watch. I know what it's like to see all these other guys do this.
Right.
That's
And they
crazy.
like your stuff. You know, I remember Red Sun Rising, which is
Ooh,
they were a great
they're
band.
very
They
good.
split up, okay? But we got to play some shows then. I just remember those dudes standing on the side of the stage, just hands in the air during our set. Every time we get off the stage, what you really want to strive for is when you get off the stage, when you're with a famous band that you're playing with, they come off, they're just like, how are you not famous? It's like, how are you guys not just doing this?
Yeah.
Right.
And I always tell them, look, that isn't my goal. My goal is I want to play my music, and I don't want to be a rock star. If something really cool happens on its own, it was meant to be awesome.
Right.
But I don't put myself in that class.
Right.
You know, and that's, you shouldn't. You should always remember, it's like going to the NHL. One out of every 500,000 people are going to get there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in our music world, but you can't do your music hoping that people are going to adore you.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. It's about writing music that means something to you
Good.
and to them,
And just having
and
fun.
just
Yeah,
continue
it's not
that
fun.
No matter
path.
what
Your
it is,
biggest
writing
show.
into
What's the biggest show you played, or the biggest name you've played, or both?
Boston and Kansas was
Jeez.
Yeah.
crazy.
Where was that at?
That was at Riverport.
Where was
Oh,
it?
yeah.
It was great.
it was in Boston. and
But
Kansas.
we played Taste of St. Louis, and we had over 50,000 people. We won a
Right.
national contest with
crap.
Right.
for charter where we had
Right.
like 250,000 votes, and then
Jeez.
we actually won the regional contest for the Grammys.
Right.
Seriously?
And but they had the right, even after voting, to pick, and they picked some
Not Divine Sorrow.
just some corny ass.
Not
Every
Divine
once in a while,
bullshit.
every once in a while,
But
they
you know
pick
what?
Something like Mr. Bungle
But we had
for production and
screenshots of
Grammy.
everything that we did,
Right.
and we won. And you know what? The whole thing that's great about that is, again, I didn't get the adoration of getting to play on the Grammys.
Right.
However, I get the self-satisfaction in knowing that we
You
accomplished
did.
what we
No,
were supposed
You
to.
did.
yeah.
It was probably a political. Somebody's related to some kind of
It's
bullshit.
just-
Somebody wants another
Something
Bruno
stupid,
Mars.
whatever.
It's not like
You know, that's what they want.
Yeah, who don't know?
Somebody wants somebody else to sing songs they didn't even write, and
Yep.
Right.
you know, God
You
forbid
know.
there's a guitar in it.
They want the
And,
third
you know,
coming of Michael
Real
Jackson.
guitar.
Yeah, and you know what? But it's okay. Never let your ego get in front of what your goal is.
Yeah, my
Don't let your
daughter-
ego get in front of that.
My daughter's had 4 auditions on The Voice. And she's bummed
Wow.
out. She's like, I guess I don't sing good enough to be on TV.
They-
I'm
that-
like, you've got 4 callbacks. They're looking for a
that's good.
specific
Just-
thing that
Yeah,
not you. It has
that-
nothing to do with your voice.
That's picked in advance. I know.
Yeah.
I know so
Is it?
many local
Yeah.
musicians that have done The Voice and have been called back. The same. What was the other one? What's the other show?
The American Idol,
Yeah, American Idol. I know somebody's been 3 times.
the Unmasked Singer.
It's
Yeah,
you know, and
it's
it's just to have fun with it. And when we go play at those big bands, you know what? I'm so
Unknown
proud
booty.
of my guys. They don't act like prima donnas. They're like, they get up, we get our gear up there, we get sound checked. If we have a union
record
crew that's
time.
putting our stuff up, we don't touch it. We realize that that's their gig. That's how they make their money. And we get up, we put our volumes where we want them, and then we just
We decide that we
get
sound better
ready.
when we do
Right.
that, when we follow those exact directions.
Did you learn anything from those professional bands that those?
Oh,
big
yeah.
band? I mean, what did you learn other than etiquette and not be a dick and everything else? I mean,
I
what
learned
did
that you
learn?
just don't pretend to be something that you're not.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you, I've met plenty of dicky rock stars.
Me
I've
too.
met plenty
There's
of
lots
them.
of
Oh,
them out
yeah.
there.
But I've also met some. I'm gonna tell you,
I
know,
met some dicky ones who were humbled.
the coolest guy I've still have yet met to this day. I met Phil Anselmo when I was younger,
Yeah.
down in Texas. Okay, he was crazy. He
Texas was
was
crazy back then.
crazy. Okay,
Certified.
we're in a strip club down in Dallas. I think they owned it.
Right.
And he comes out of like the back room doing some stuff.
Easy.
He comes out, he's beating his head against the wall. There's blood all over his head. And everybody's
Motley
like,
Crue.
hey, let's drink. And I'm like, I'm gone. Bye.
See ya. Motley Crue himself.
But here's what happened. So in it was just a couple years ago, we got open for Phil Anselmo again, and he got off his bus and he's been clean. He got off. I had
know, who
Nash
is
and
that
Ace with
national
me
rocker?
out back.
Right.
He comes right up, picks up my kids, hugs them, shadow boxing with them. He's sober. It
Wow,
makes a difference.
I've never seen him sober.
It makes a difference. And now he's one of the most friendly, unbelievable rock stars in the world.
sure.
And the dude's legit.
Right.
I mean, it's like what you find is sometimes they let things go to their head. It gets completely out of control.
He was just so high, he was weird.
and then
Honestly. He'd walk
when
into a
reality
party
hits
full of
them that
people
they
at-
can't
at
just
Vinny's
survive
parties
that
and
level,
Daryl's parties.
Right.
And,
they have to become human again.
Yeah.
He'd
So,
start masturbating in front
what
of
I've
a whole
learned the
people
most-
when he was fucked
What
up.
I've learned is
I'm not kidding.
how to stay human. That's what I learned more than anything from
He's
the
human
successful
after all.
ones. You
That's
stay
awesome.
human.
At the end
Right.
of
No
the
matter
day,
how much people might try to adore you or they might really,
we're all people at the end of the day.
just remember where you came from
Yeah.
and don't try to think that that changes because people pay attention to you, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still the same guy. I'm still a dad at the end of the day.
Right.
When I get done here,
That's important.
I hope I get home in time that I can still hug my little buddies and, I'm gonna put on my PJs and go to bed. It's gonna be easy
Yeah.
because that's my routine. That's my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So I don't forget
things.
that.
You know who you are, you know what you
That's
are, and you
cool.
know why you're here. I like
You
it.
don't
awesome.
forget. And that's what I tell you the most. Just if you watch the good ones, they're usually not talking much. They're usually sitting. They'll sit on their bus.
Yeah.
They don't try to interact. What they're trying to do is they're trying to like telephone their kids and their wives, and they're trying to like stay connected to their real life.
Right.
The ones that are
That's
just
where it comes from.
blasting through being idiots,
They don't care.
it is what it is. And again, Days of the New.
Yep.
Days of the New. We played with them, okay? And I ended up making friends with Jesse Vest, who was also one of the co-founders of Tantric. Really good guy.
Yeah, I
Bass
talked to him too. I walked up and said,
Super
I'm
good
singing
guy.
that one song with him.
And but
It was
we were,
Days of the New
we're the
song,
last
not
band that
Tantric.
ever played with Days of the New.
Right.
So they made a comeback tour. They missed their first date in Columbia, Illinois, because Travis disappeared. They showed up at ours. They did the sound check. He was a complete asshole to John Berube, who was running sound, Mad Magician. Complete asshole. He was higher than a kite. He was gone. Meanwhile, the rest of his band are these killer musicians. They're amazing. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He totally goes up. He's got all these acoustic guitars. He wants to run his own powered monitor. It's blasting. It's like it's feeding back. He's got 5, $10,000 PRS acoustic guitars that he doesn't know how to run. And then, just as they're starting to warm up, I'm standing outside because I'm catching a breath real quick. We had that place cooking. They were ready.
Yeah.
And I go out. Travis is running to the back of the lot to escape. I horse collar Travis Meeks as he's climbing over a chain link fence.
Clothesline.
I grab him, one hand, and I'm twice his size. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
little tiny dude. Turn around, I look at him. He's
Other
missing
Bellazzar.
almost all of his teeth from all the meth and all the shit he's done. And I said, "Where are you going?" And he's like, there's people. I got to get away from them, and blah blah. And I put him over my shoulder, ass first over my shoulder, took him inside through the back door while they were starting the song, and I planted his ass on the stage. I go, "These
Yeah, later
folks are
that night he
waiting
was
for you."
killed by the Illuminati.
Which was
No.
good and bad, because here's what happened.
Shit.
He got through about
We're after him.
3 songs horribly. And on the 4th song, he stops the song in the middle and goes into a Jim Morrison tirade, doing on-the-fly poetry for 5 minutes.
What
Offset clouds.
So I'm just sitting there like, and the whole crowd's just like,
the fuck is this?
Jesse Vest finally goes over, he takes the mic out of his hand, he goes, "You just saw the last show ever for Days of the New." Mic drop. I didn't appreciate the mic drop, because you never drop a sound.
You
guys.
never drop them.
Yeah,
But it's like,
Anything.
but I'm like, the cool thing was, though, we got like
That's a movie.
gazillion YouTube hits because we're the last band that ever played with them.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, so what you learn is, and the guy's really talented. The guy was super talented.
Sounds like somebody I know a long time ago. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah, it's like I've seen that. I've witnessed that before.
You just
and
watch him waste away, and
It's like, what is wrong with you? You've got all this talent up here waiting for you, and you screwed up shows, and you didn't show up, and you left them stranded, and you
Well,
wonder why they.
and the best people ever. Like, so Mike Tramp from White Lion, I got to see him like up and close. And Brian White, country music singer.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Coolest things ever. I get to go see him at the Hot Spot with Mike French. That's such a great little treasure out in Jefferson County. It
Oh, the
really
French
is.
family? Yeah.
We'll go play there, and the place is packed.
Oh, Hot Spot, yeah.
People, and you can't believe they're there to watch us because they're just like totally different crowd. But they are, and I'm there, and you see a guy like Mike Tramp come in. And the thing that's amazing about Mike Tramp is he's singing all the stuff acoustically, and he's talking about Vito Brava, who's just a phenomenal guitar player and all this stuff.
Oh man.
And
Used to go watch
you
him
hear him
play
tell
on
his
the
stories about his life, like how it all got to be too big in his own head, and then how he lost everything, and now he's back playing these acoustic shows for like $1,000. But he's out on the road, 250 days a year doing it.
Jesus.
But and afterwards he was so personal. So what you always learn is, and the thing I think that's the coolest thing to learn from those guys who are really super talented guy, Brian White.
Yeah.
They always tell you the most important part of this room is the crowd.
Yep.
Because
sure.
without your fans, without your crowd, you're nothing. You have nothing.
Yep.
So remember that. I think that's, I think if a lot of young bands learned this early, they wouldn't be miserable. It's kind of like the Nirvana complex.
Yeah.
So you see a guy like Dave Grohl, who's totally not like Kurt Cobain,
No.
and look where he's gone. I would argue that he's way bigger than what he started with.
3
Oh,
nights
yeah.
at Wembley
Yeah.
You know,
Stadium
he's-
sold out.
he really is.
You can only imagine the fighting and the begging
Pope
and the
didn't do
pleading
that.
and the disappointment, between David and Kurt, just because of their total
There's
different
difference. And
personalities.
you know what I think
and it's just like, what the hell?
to
And you
imagine.
see
Yeah.
David now,
Yeah.
it's like, what?
I
love
think
that
Dave.
man. He's
I,
so cool.
I think
He
Kurt
is.
was so talented at writing this new music
He was.
that people hadn't heard, that his bandmates said, "Okay, we're not going to make this a clown car. This guy's writing the best songs. We're going with that."
Go
Right.
with it.
The problem is, he's a tormented soul, and his relationship with who he married was also probably the worst.
Right.
That's
Right.
gases and
Down
gas and
there.
matches. Bad idea.
Why?
But when you see this
Totally toxic.
in whole, when you see it in whole,
That is one
you
toxic
realize
bitch.
that like his positivity, he learned from watching his own friend, and I bet you they didn't really argue that much about things in the band because
I can't
it
see
was
it.
Kurt's baby.
Oh yeah.
But
for sure.
but after that, I think he learned the lesson about being human, and he was able to take that to this enormous level that he's at now.
Right.
And he's still one of the guys that I love his attitude. I love his positivity. I
Oh,
think
he's
it's so
freaking
good.
awesome.
He's
He's
super
great.
cool.
No matter
And
what.
he loves his kids, and they're
Loves
there.
His wife, he's just a great guy. I mean, when he played on stage with a cast on his leg, and I was like, dude, I love you. I
Yeah.
mean, and he's quite the humanitarian. And
Man,
just-
he's so cool. He
just
got to
all
play
of
with
it.
Tom Petty.
And it just
Oh,
makes
yeah.
me wonder. I just think about if
And Tom
Kurt
Petty was
Cobain
like
did not have the
doing backup
negativity in
band
his
and
life
everything.
and the whole, then he possibly would probably still be here and would be what? How
Those
phenomenal
kids in her band
would
had
that
no
band
idea
be
they
to
were
this
killing their
day?
And you never know. It could have went on in perpetuity. It could have been like a Rush, you know, where you're 40 albums later.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, but you have to learn too. It's like I don't know if you remember Ribfest a few years ago. We got the call before, and we get this call, and they're just like, "We're not putting you on that other stage. You got to be on the main stage." And Katie Cruz was a big part of working that with us. And
Right.
she's always been just fantastic and
Oh, yeah,
nice to
she's
us.
awesome.
And so, what she didn't know is that for the entire week before, I was so sick that I couldn't get out of bed. I literally had lost 17 pounds that week because things were coming out of both ends of me and it wouldn't stop.
COVID, yeah,
I
yeah.
had to stop 3 times on the way there in the car to evacuate the system. And I was still throwing up. They had to put a stool on stage for me to play. But you know what? I didn't say nothing about it. I got up and I played my set.
Oh yeah.
And I even told, there was like a rare time that I told the other guys in the band, it's like, guys, listen, I don't have enough energy to talk between all these songs. I go, I'm saving it up and I'm trying not to have an accident while I'm up here. I need you guys to help me. And you know what? That's
Just
when you
go,
know
man.
you got brothers because
Oh, yeah.
they did.
Right.
Now, the funny thing was they didn't know what to say. And I learned a very valuable lesson. That it's probably
Where will
best
you be
not to
when your
let
diarrhea
Mike...
comes back?
It's probably best not to let Mike talk to the crowd for extended periods of time. 'Cause
He's usually a quiet guy, but give him a mic and forget it. He's naked.
he just-
he is.
Yeah.
He's
Mike-
crazy.
Naked.
And I just love Mike so much. But Mike,
What a
like we
sweetheart.
always say, if there's a new low in the room, like you think you've hit bottom, like and you like king of the hill, you're like, okay, nobody can go lower than what I just said. Here comes Mike, you know, and Mike will just like effortlessly like, and you're like,
Dude.
oh man, it's like
Yeah.
I don't even know if we should be friends. Like that is so. But it's like, but
he is.
we love each other, and I mean that's it. And I know that when Mike's him and Tyler are having a great weekend, and that phone call or text at 1:30 in the morning, he's like, dude, we got to finish talking to these guys over at Sirius
Those one guys.
on Octane about getting our stuff on because we're still working through all that stuff.
Right.
But it's like he's like, dude, these new songs are ridiculous. I can't wait to record them. But he's even when he's just with Tyler, he's still excited like a kid about the new songs.
I know,
And so is
he's
Sonny,
great.
and so is everybody. And I'm so excited about that. So
Good.
love your brothers. Don't betray them. And believe me, every time that you get in a situation where things are going, some asshole thinks he's going to try to pluck one of you away
Yep.
and be like, dude, you could be a rock star if you said, no, you
I
can't.
hear it all the time about Connor. Somebody's going to take that drummer.
Yeah.
I said, no, nobody's taking
Nope.
that drummer over
I
my
won't let
dead
him.
body. Is
Never
taking that drummer.
forget
He's
who's
awesome.
got your back.
Right.
Yep.
Don't forget who brought you to the dance. Because I've had 2 dudes in my band when we started that forgot who brought them to the dance.
Yes.
And it's cool. They can go be cover band superstars for the rest of their life.
That's
I don't
fine.
care.
That's fine.
Doesn't mean nothing to me.
I'm not leaving
But-
these guys. I don't care
But
what
you know what? I
happens.
still feel so good inside because I know I'm going to crank out the tunes I want, and I get to do it any way I want to. And I know that I
Yeah.
got 2.5 hours of my own stuff already recorded, so I can just pick out whatever I want, and I can change it up, and I can do something different. Sometimes it's fun to like throw it on the guys last minute. It's like, guys, we're going to play Shadows and Sorrow.
Right.
And we haven't played it in 2 years. And you just hear that train wreck for a second.
Oh.
You know, like, we played through the first time, I was just like, oh, what was that? And I'm like,
How old were you when you wrote that?
oh, God, I was 44 years old.
Really?
You know, I mean, that's the funny thing. It's like,
I mean,
And I-
age is nothing.
well, I've told you this before. I quit playing for over 15 years. I'd had enough.
Right.
I just wasn't. And my wife, one day, we've been married for a year or two, and she opened up the music room door and she goes, so do you actually play any of these instruments? Do you do any of this? And I said, I pulled out a photo album of me playing and touring when I was young. And I go, well, I do. And I played a couple songs from another famous band that I was playing with.
Yeah.
And I sang them because I played the acoustic guitars for that stuff. And she was kind of in tears. She goes, why aren't you doing this?
Shout out to Lizard.
Lizard. And then I
Shout
did.
out
And you know,
to
and the
Lizard.
funny thing was, this time I said, I'm going to play what I want.
Right.
I'm not going to try to write songs that people like. I'm going to, be a fact, I'm going to try to write songs that are so dark and deep that it's going to scare the shit out of everyone. And once a year, I'm going to play at Just Bills. I'm going to get some golf claps from my buddies from high school. They're
Hell
going to
yeah.
go, kick ass, dude. You're living your dream.
Oh yeah.
You know, golf clap.
Right.
And then the funny thing was, 8 weeks later, Casey's playing one of our songs because we recorded Everything in Mary.
Right.
I thought those songs no one would ever attach. It's about
Well,
my,
that's just it.
it's about my best
you
friend
stop
dying
trying to
from
make
drugs.
people
You
or
know, it's
people
like
like it and just
all of a
allow
sudden
it
it's
to
just
be-
like boom,
Yeah.
and you realize that like you wrote something honest
Yeah.
and you didn't try to be cool.
Right.
right.
That's a
That's
badass.
pretty cool.
Well, who knew? Who
knew?
knew? Right?
Right. If we didn't
Well,
know
that's
that, what we know now, what we know now, it would have been done a lot differently for me because it's the same thing. As soon as I stopped trying to make people, feed it, shove it down everyone's throat, was
you
the
know,
time everybody started liking it and it started to.
and I'm gonna
rise
tell you
up.
something. It's kind of like the thing I'm so proud of these guys is that we are exactly what we are, and we're not trying to be something different than what we are. And again, there's another guy in town. He's all over this. He just fired his whole band. It's a nightmare. And he's just like, well, I'm getting back to my roots. I'm like, dude, you don't have any roots.
You're gone.
It's like the only history you have is that you're an asshole, and you keep running through bandmates
Right.
like chicks at a whorehouse. It doesn't.
Right.
It's not. You're not. You're an ass.
Yeah.
Stop being one. It's like people can't. You can't even.
I hate people
You
like
can't
that.
keep a Facebook account for longer than 10 days before you're banned for 8 years. You got 14
Wow.
accounts just in case. It's like I have one account. It's me, and I've.
Right.
Who
Exactly. I know.
cares? So just I just really hope that these kids promote.
Oh yeah.
And I sent you guys a message today. Every day,
Yeah.
promote. Nobody's going to promote you for you.
No, we gotta do it.
No.
And even at my age, even as Devine Sorrow, I still have to promote really hard. And it still doesn't mean we're going to have a full room.
No.
Because, let's face it, a lot of folks just, they want to go get drunk and shake their ass. And
Yeah.
that's all they want to do. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
But you've got 4 different bands, 4
Yeah.
different crowds. These guys have a crowd, and they're building it all the time.
Yeah.
It's
And
freaking
that's
awesome.
what
That's
you're
the coolest
supposed
thing
to
to see.
do.
They come to Open Jam. We have Open Jam. It was at Parrots on Wednesday, and now it's at Diamond on Tuesday nights. And when these guys come out and play, it's like everybody. I mean, they get the best applause,
That's
and
great.
everybody loves them. So
And
we're getting their name out
we
there.
get asked to go do those all the time. Let me just say this real quick about Topher and Johnny over at Diamond. Those guys have given everything they got to make that place what it is. Okay, and I mean they keep improving it, keep doing everything.
Right.
The place is awesome.
I've worked on both of their houses. Those guys are my brothers also, and I love them. I honestly love those two guys. I never ask them for a show.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
Because every time, like, they hinted that maybe George Lynch is coming. 1,400 people. It's like, dude, that's perfect for... No, it's not. It's like, they're going to pick out somebody that's going to fit that bill, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
The only favor they're done is when Loudness is coming. That's one of Sonny's favorite guitar
Oh
players,
yeah,
okay?
they're friggin' awesome.
So that's coming, I think, in May.
right.
And
You
and
gotta
it got
do
me from that. So they're like, so of course they love Sonny. So they're just like, Sonny, that's your bucket list, right? Cool, it's all yours. So it's like, but I don't ask them for that. I'm not using them.
Right.
And when I do things for them, I don't do it so they'll do something for me. It's just
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Do good for the sake of doing good.
Yeah.
As you get older,
Right, wrong's
and I'm
nobody.
here now. I'm here. I'm getting ready to enter that phase of my life where, we don't walk as good. Eventually, I'm going to be in a wheelchair, and shit's going to happen that I don't like. But as you get older, there's things you learn. The things that are really important are so different than when you're a young man.
Right.
And you just learn that you got to love the people around you. It's kind of like the message with the drugs all the time. I always do with Esmeralda or everything. It just depends on what night it is. I've seen so many heroin addicts that are young die. Okay.
It's insane.
And it breaks my heart.
All
So
of 'em.
when I was in front of 50,000 people and they were all cheering and having a great time, you know what I did? I put the brakes on fucking hard in the middle of the show, and I said, hey, I just want to talk about this for a second. Always do what's in your heart, even if it's not cool. And I'm sure club owners don't love when, like, you got everybody, like, pumping, and you go, hey, listen, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to your heart for, like, 1 second. So if you know somebody that can't get well, should you hate them? Can you call them a loser because they have a habit they can't kick? Does that mean they're a bad person? Some, yes. But I've seen plenty of people who aren't sick that are bad people.
Right.
But the bottom line is, what do? Do you castigate them out to this little world, or do you put out your hand, you lift them up, let them know
Sometimes it takes two.
let them know that you love them, because that's all you can really do.
Right.
You can't make them do something they don't want to do. You can't make them into something they don't want to be.
Right.
But what you can do is you can be an example.
Definitely, for sure.
Be one.
Exactly. So, we've heard the Brian hour.
Yeah.
Shut up, Brian.
Hey, see how much water?
I always
See how much
wanted to
water
say
I
that.
brought?
Brian, yes, I see that.
I'm hydrated.
Keep drinking.
I'm hydrated.
Go ahead. What have you got? Any,
I
is there
actually
anything
did
you
have a
wanna add?
question. Do you have any tips for like, because we do promoting
Yeah,
through
promoting.
social media and stuff. We do like Instagram, and we've been working on Facebook. But do you like have any tips on?
I'll tell you
promoting
this.
more?
So let's say you got a show 2 months out.
Yeah.
You want to announce it.
Mhm.
Announce it once. Don't talk about it for a month.
Mhm.
Then once
The
a
last-
week
last.
for the next 2 weeks. Once a week. And nothing too involved. And then the last week, you hit them every day.
Every day.
And what you also want to do is all the people that you want involved that will help you spread the word, you learn the algorithm, which is to go to their post, like their posts, and interact with those folks, because now they're at the top of your algorithm.
Right.
So now you're in their feed, and they know it, and those people that support you will continue to support you as long as you're not a complete asshole
Okay.
Right.
and abuse that friendship. So, and you're going to find that there's going to be those loyal ones. There's 100 people that are so loyal, they'll show up at every single gig, no matter what.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool. But,
is.
the goal for club owners is that there's 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So believe me, even being Divine Sorrow, there's times I played shows where there's 100 people, and then I've had shows where you can't move.
Can't walk
Yeah.
in.
But
Crazy packed.
regardless of either of those scenarios,
You play like
you
there's a
play
million people
the
in there.
same show. You
Yeah.
do the same thing. So I would tell you if you're going to promote, but you cannot be lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you guys right now, I checked to see who's been promoting.
Don't be
I
lazy.
saw your promotion on June 25th, but it's July 5th.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's time to push.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of that, and I believe me, all 3 bands got a message this morning
Yeah.
that said, "Hey guys, cool to be on a show together, but I'm not carrying you." It's
Yeah.
like
Right, right.
but I don't say it like that. I say it nicely, like, "Good morning, how are
Right,
you?"
Right. Well, I think last week we just found out there was 3 bands, because when they first started promoting it, it was just you two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what it comes down
And
to,
and that was, I was like, oh.
And-
well, the
no.
issue is going to be the Topher.
Right.
You
And
look
that's
at
fine, that's
Topher's
cool.
looking at how many likes each of these bands have.
Sure.
And he's trying to figure out if we're going to have enough people in that club to make a lot of money so they can continue doing what they do, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay? So anytime we're going to have young bands, the other problem is, too, with young bands, they might have an hour worth of music, and 20 minutes of it is actually their good stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to put them in a situation where they're up there trying to play a really long set, and they don't have the complete chops for it yet, and they don't have the confidence in every single song that they're going to play
Right.
that the crowd's going to have. So the good part is when you work with a younger band is to see them play these, not a micro set, but a smaller set that's like 30 minutes,
Right.
25 to 35 minutes.
Right.
It's going to get you on, it's going to get you off. And since not as many people know you, the cool thing about it is you give them too much of something that they don't know, well, they'll tune you out.
Yeah.
But if you give them a healthy little dose of something they like, they'll go,
The good
where do I
stuff.
get more of that?
Yeah.
And that's the smart way to start until you build up that following to where you can. And I'm going to tell you right now, I still always feel like I'm losing the crowd when I play an hour set because we're so goddamn heavy. It's like we are like a freight train. It's just hitting you. And I just go, how long can these stand in front of those speakers and just get beat up? And as much as I played music my
I've
whole life,
seen it.
I can't do it.
It's
I can't do that.
It's amazing that people do that. I think they're just numb.
I can't do it.
Oh my god! I have to move around. I can't.
When I go to
stand
concerts,
there.
I try
I
to
can't
get in
come
the
to high
center in the
schools
front where there's
anymore
no
either,
speaker
so take
coverage.
advantage of that one.
So it doesn't hurt.
My arms start locking up after about 45 minutes.
They do.
I mean, it's
But you
like
know what I
it's
But watching the newer bands, this is what I've seen and noticed is that the first song, stage fright. The second song, it's
Yeah.
a little less. By the time they get to their last song, man, they're banging it out like nobody's business
feeling
and
great.
doing
And
exactly
It still
what they're
happens to
supposed
me
be
to this
doing.
day.
Perfect.
So I mean,
So, you know, you're getting there. It's just, and I know, I keep telling you, you need to do a little bit more. Just a little, you don't have to be Steve Ewing and jump all over the stage.
You guys are young. You should have
hey,
that
if you
kind
got
of
it,
energy.
jump.
But
You
Jump.
know, but when you get to be, whenever your band's 50,
Yeah,
you
but
know, we're not.
But their music is not like that. It's not Steve Ewing bouncing around.
Yeah.
It's
And he's ska, so that's a totally different
Right,
realm.
he is.
No,
Completely.
he is rock. He is ska.
He's
he's rock, ska,
He is all
and
things.
reggae, and
He is
but
all
he's
things
a little bit of
entertainment.
everything.
He's not rock. He's ska.
He's not all ska.
He's great. He's
ska.
not all
There's even
ska.
jazz
He is rock,
influences in
reggae,
there.
reggae. He is.
And
he is,
reggae. I got that. But
he's,
that's when I listen to that band. That's exactly what I hear. I don't hear Zeppelin.
I hear rock and roll.
Okay,
It's
I'm
loud
not
and
gonna get
obnoxious.
Zeppelin
This
in
is
there.
all
I'm just saying. It's,
It's
when
rock
people
and
say
roll.
rock,
It's
let's
not
just
rocket
make sure
science.
we're not gender bending genres of music.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
because
we're
that's
totally
what we're
gender-
doing. You
Yeah,
know,
but
it's
that's what the Urge does. They bend everything. That's what's so cool about their band.
They melt
is that
faces.
I think they're the
hearts.
best
They're
reggae
freaking
ska
awesome.
band that ever came out
But
of
it's
this
not
town.
all
I gotta
reggae
see
ska.
that.
I do.
It's
Yeah,
not.
so does
I
311.
am going to argue you to the ground on this one because I have listened.
We better
to
look
that.
out. I'm feeling frisky, and I got a whole jug of
Come
water.
on, we didn't finish our match.
I think we finished it.
You ended up with COVID.
I did.
Y'all were hugging and kissing that night.
That was fun.
That was-
But no, it's
all
like
on
anything.
Facebook.
Just be yourself, kid. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
and don't worry. And some people are. I think the hardest part is the critics. Some people are going to love you, and some people aren't going to give a shit about you.
Some people
Well,
like
But
me,
don't
some
let the people that don't give a
don't.
shit about you
Some give
change
me
what
props
you
and
are.
some
Well,
You know.
they played for
Either way, I
uh,
guess it's all the same.
a
'cause
semi
y'all
I would say a
motherfuckers still know
semi-national
my
act,
name.
and they played. They got the most applause. They got the most compliments. I thought out of all the bands that played that night, and because when the semi-national band played, I heard a lot of. It all sounds the same.
I hate
And that's
when we
what
open
I
up
was
for a
like,
band.
oh my god! But these guys, came out of nowhere and it was like, holy shit! It was a breath of fresh air.
And we played
You
with
know?
some nationals that aren't huge, but then like after we play, and look, and I'm gonna be the first person to admit this: when we play, our crowds, even when you're opening up for Sebastian Bach, when we finish playing, half that room's gone. They leave.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and I've done, Kat, I'm up there, I'm like, hey guys, stick around. It's like, here's this other famous band. It's like, and I look out there, and all of a sudden there were 2,500 people, and now there's 700 people.
Yeah.
But they're loyal,
Yeah.
and I would tell you that like those open jams, and Johnny and Topher, they'd put us on in a second. Go up there.
Right.
I don't think we translate well in other people's ear because our stuff, we got to play with their stuff.
Right.
They're not set
know,
for
it's
our
a
kind of
whole
tunings.
thing. Right.
But it's like, also, open jam night is for younger people. It's for the musicians that don't get a stage.
Right.
So we did out at what's Brewski's.
Fresh
One
lemon
night, the
banana.
Viper was promoting us real hard, and we came out and they wanted us to do a couple songs. So we came out to do a couple songs.
Yeah.
Well, the whole focus of the whole night shifted to us
Right.
instead of
What was
the
going on?
open jam.
Right.
So, to me, that's a disservice.
Yeah.
When all these guys who do get no attention, they have a chance to get attention and maybe get started on something.
Right.
I don't need to be there stealing thunder from these other guys who are working hard to try to get that stage.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's just part of having some respect for other bands too. It's like, don't be a fucking rock star. Just if they want you to come up and sing one song with them, like a cover,
Right.
Plastic Kings, Johnny and I talk about it all the time. I'll go do that,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm trying to I still cannot get anyone to sit in and play one of my songs on bass and sing with me. I can't get them to do it. And I don't
'cause
know
you never
why. They
asked.
won't do it. But I
Well-
want them to.
But also, the other side of the coin on the open jam is that there are like we're having guest appearances from some of these
Yeah.
bigger I would say bigger musicians
Yeah.
that are playing constantly that which is cool.
You got Mark, you got all those guys. Those guys are
Right.
great.
So,
yeah.
but there are people who are coming up to the stage. They want to play with these more experienced musicians because they know their song and they're going to feel more comfortable with them up there playing.
Yeah.
Like Connor gets requested when he's there to play certain
All the
songs.
time.
When Christian Connor is singing.
What song would you call me up to do?
What
I
is
don't
it?
know. What
No,
do
what
you?
is it? You and Christian, the Christian likes you. to
We
play.
always do Wood. Alice in
Wood,
Chains.
Right, Alice in Chains.
Great.
So
Good
he
enough.
likes,
We'll
he
do
likes
it.
the
Oh,
way
yeah.
he plays it, and he says,
can nail it.
"Hey, I want Connor to play the song because
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna sing," which is cool, which is awesome. Because
Yeah.
that's the whole
And
point
that's great.
of the
And
open
the-
jam is
the-
that I try to mix everybody up.
The problem
and
with
get
being
them
an
up to
Still
original
finding
band.
somebody to sing Hot for Teacher though.
Right,
We
Yeah.
gotta
we
do
still
that.
haven't found anybody sing that song.
Being an original band, though, what they want is they want the band to get up and do like a little mini concert, which we'd be fine with.
Right.
But that's not an issue. I would love to do that here and there.
Right.
But we're also known for playing Tool better than anyone in town.
Right.
So it's kind of like, so people, and I don't mind, like if we did an open jam, I'll get up there and play Tool, but I'm used to my boys
Right.
that really dig into all those bends and all the
Right.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So when I get up and play Tool with like the cover guys,
It's like, I've
it's a
listened a million
totally
times.
different vibe.
Right. And it doesn't feel good.
Well, I mean,
It's
yeah,
not
the
that it
guy's
doesn't
standing
feel
on stage
good,
with you.
but it
at the same
doesn't
time, so it's
feel
like,
right.
you know,
It doesn't feel, the vibe isn't, when I play a Tool song
You're
or
like,
Perfect
just chill,
Circle
relax,
or a
man.
King's X tune,
Right.
I want those things. I want somebody out there to just go, what the fuck just happened?
Right. Right.
And we actually have our manager, Jeff Iflin, in the band.
Yeah.
We have a code in the band. We call it "What the fuck just happened."
Right.
Every time we're gonna play something and we're gonna go out there, like last time we played a show, we played Judith.
Right.
Nobody in their right mind in town has ever tried to play Judith by Perfect Circle
Right.
because
It's crazy.
it's a tough song and it's a brutal concept for a song. It is
My
so
mother's name.
absolutely so deep.
It's
You know what I
insane.
mean? It's like, but to us, we're just like, oh, let's just learn Judith, and we'll just throw that out there. You know, and then I hear everybody in town trying to play sober, and I'm frankly embarrassed
All the
every time I
time.
hear that shit.
All the time.
It's just
Stop
like,
it.
cool, why don't you stop doing that, and then we'll play it.
sober, I've never been.
But we play it like Divine Sorrow.
I hear good things.
And it's badass. And they go fucking crazy if we play it.
Right.
But I try to make sure if we're playing originals that only one cover song, if they really want something, and if I feel like they've stuck with us, we'll play it like second to last song or something.
Yeah.
If they've stuck with me the whole way through, then I'm like, cool, let's do it. You know, let's. Sometimes I'll rip one of our own songs out of the line. I'll just look at the guys, and they always look at me, and they're like,
What's wrong with you?
what are we doing? I'm just like, so we always have our song list on the floor, and it's the Bible, okay? They were printed for every show. It says the date, the club,
Wow.
where I speak, where they tune, everything. So we have lines between songs. They're human. They got to tune. Don't think you're so kick-ass as a musician that you don't have to tune because you're having a good time.
Right.
You have to tune.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important.
Exactly.
So I just make it so, and then I have. So watch me. This is how Justin knows to start his click. So I'm standing there and I'm talking on the mic, and I'll be like this, and all of a sudden I'll put my hand behind my head, and I like tap myself on the back of the head. That means that he knows to start the clicks to click us off. So you learn how to have this
Right.
nonverbal communication with
Yeah.
everybody. And I know it takes Mike longer to tune than it takes Sonny, but I know Sonny's starting the song, so I know there's nothing that's going to replace experience and time spent with each other.
Right.
For sure.
There's nothing that's going to make you better
You have
except
your own
time.
language. These guys have got their own language. I've seen it, and it's freaking awesome because I've
I
seen
speak
just a
dun,
look
dun, dun.
or like
Dun,
when
dun, dun,
you
dun,
drop
dun,
a
dun,
stick
dun,
or
dun, dun,
you
dun.
roll your eyes. I know you
me?
fucked up, and
Yeah.
he's looking at
I
you.
don't
and
hide it
he's
very
go-
well.
Or Jory's
I
looking
yell.
at you,
Big
and it's
fluent
like
rip.
all three of them.
And you gotta have a laugh.
It's so cute because I'm like, it's okay, just keep playing.
Yeah.
Just have
play
fun.
through it, and it's all right. It's
And,
all
and,
good.
and we get up there on
I'll
stage
scream at
right
my
before we're going
drums
to start.
sometimes
Like
if I
we'll
fuck
we'll
up.
have the
I'm like,
Kabiki curtain this time.
Right.
Johnny loves doing that for us. So we're up there, we're behind the curtain. I'm like, Jesus, what are we doing? You know, and I always look at Mike and them, and we always kind of laugh, and we give each other a little fist bump, and I'm just like, well, here goes nothing. And then the last thing I say to everybody before we start, I go, don't suck.
Don't suck.
And that's it. That is honest to God. Every time we play, they're always looking at me, and I just look at them and I go, guys, don't suck. And what I really mean is I'm telling myself, don't suck. But it's like, but it's our thing.
Silence is golden.
Mine's always been don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like before, when I was used to do when I do my videos, it's like that was what who was it? It was the guy that was doing the guy who was running the camera. He's like, "Don't fuck this up," and I'm like, "Okay,
Boom.
I won't do it."
Boom.
And then
And
I
yeah,
just
but
I do
no.
my
You have
thing.
your own little
Pressure,
world.
pressure.
And like the thing I love is like, so my kids, you know, now Nash and Ace are 8 and 6. So they're always at the shows, and the security guys are always taking care of my kids. Are always sitting on like Debo from Pops, the largest black man I've ever met in my life.
What
He's
did you
bigger
have
than
on your
football
40?
players.
What did you have on
okay?
your 40?
Oh yeah, Debo's like 6'8", and he's like 400 pounds.
And he ain't nice.
I look over at Debo, and like, there's Nash sitting up on his shoulders, like 12 feet in the air. And the funniest thing is my kids think that everybody's dad has a band.
Oh, yeah.
They really do.
That's
So
right.
like, they think this is totally
They
normal.
think this goes on in
So,
everybody's
like,
basement.
they think
I've
it's totally
experienced
normal
it
to meet the
myself.
singer from Pantera. Like, that's just what your dad does.
Yeah, that's what your dad-
Right? Okay,
Right,
so
exactly.
so I always laugh, like, when you hear the stories come back to the teachers, like,
You know,
your son says that you're a part-time rock star. I go, he's kinda.
like, we got a band in our
I don't
basement,
really
too.
know. But he's like, but my kids are always like, I've heard my kids actually, it's like, what band is your dad in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
great.
you bring him to all these events, which is
Right.
very
My
cool.
daddy lives in California.
Like,
He's a rock
was
star.
it the Mickey D event?
Right.
Speaking of which, 3 years ago. That
Right.
was 3
My
years
kids are
ago.
there, and they think it's there, and they got on their headphones
Oh,
so they
man.
don't die.
Right.
And it's like, and I don't necessarily want them to get blasted by these speakers. And they're there, and my
they were
wife
having a
is,
great
she's a
time.
saint.
I remember
and
that
my
day.
wife has hearing aids because she's had hearing damage for a long time. So, literally, my wife could just turn off her hearing aids, and she's only hearing 30% of what's going on.
So,
I
so
thought that
like
was
a
me,
man.
too.
Yeah,
So
she's-
she has the selective hearing.
You know why I love my wife?
Automatically.
She's the closest thing to
I
me being able to
love-
be gay.
I love Lizard. We love
She
you,
is-
Lizard.
She is a dude
She
that looks
is-
awesome without clothes on.
She's so freaking cool. I love Lizard. She's so cool.
Yeah, except she's a girl.
She's a girl. Thank God.
Yeah, and a hockey player. She's,
And a
she's
hockey
awesome.
player.
That's
But,
what's up.
but that's what I'm
And she'll
saying.
whip your ass in a minute.
Oh, I'm getting old. I don't test her.
I don't blame you.
I'm past that phase.
And she's a little bitty
I'm
thing.
past
Hell
that
have
phase.
no fury.
That's what I got pork chop for. Anybody wants to get stupid, I got pork chop.
Pork chop.
Oh, yeah,
handles
he's
them all.
freaking hilarious. I love Pork Chop. He's awesome.
Pork chop has been
I
our
love
security
Pork Chop.
guy for
He's so-
10 years. You know.
He is so awesome. I worked with him forever.
So we
Who's
just
that?
love him. You know.
We walked into Diamond the last time we were there, and he's kind of like giving us the X's and stuff. He's
Right,
like,
and
give
I-
him 3. He's crazy.
yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, he's
and you know we
freaking
love
hilarious.
him.
Yeah, he's
And,
so much fun, man.
We've been through so much together.
God bless you, brother.
And I mean, we've been through a lot of really, really personal, deep stuff. Like when he lost his son,
Yeah.
I was there with them the whole night at the hospital when that miscarriage was happening, and I felt so much
Oh,
pain
so
for
bad.
them. And it was on Mother's Day. I had to
Oh.
leave Mother's Day dinner so I could get there to get with them. And I'm gonna tell you something. Again, those are the relationships that you never forget. We wrote the song "Everything" in Pork Chop. I was put out on the thing. I was put out. Look, if you need somebody, I put my phone number on my Facebook page. That's this
Wow.
real phone number.
Holy crap.
Oh, mine's out there too.
And you wouldn't believe how many people have called me at 2 in the morning that said, "Listen, I'm in a bad place. I think if I don't find a better place right now, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to die." Pork Chop wasn't that. Pork Chop called me one night and he was really depressed.
Right.
And I went and I met him. We sat and we talked in a car for a while. And we've been best friends ever since.
I just love that guy. He's a
So
sweetheart.
you just
He's freaking awesome.
mean what you
He is
say,
a
say
sweet
what
guy.
you mean, and do it. And
Yep.
again, some people will hate you for it, especially other bands that aren't genuine about their real emotion and feelings with other people.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hate you.
Yeah.
They'll write songs about the same stuff you write about, except it sounds like some really contrived bullshit. And you know, and you just try to make sense out of it. And again, just you know, I've been super excited about the show, and we didn't know what the lineup was going to be because Johnny and Topher were both supposed to pick a band, you know, along with us picking a band. So we picked
Right.
you because I know Jilly really well, I know Kat really well,
Oh, yeah.
and I didn't hear your guys' stuff. I saw like a live video.
Yeah.
I try not to watch any band's live videos because
I think we
Have you
sound
seen
better
my
live.
live video?
somebody's recording it
They're
with
in
one of
flames.
these.
Yeah.
You guys are
Somebody- it sounds
literally
like-
in flames, man. That's one of the
Yeah,
best
we did.
videos I did all year.
You hear people talking, you hear them like,
The only bad
Yeah.
thing about
Yeah,
my phone's over there.
Actually,
Bad
Because
thing
when the
about
songs come on, you can hear everybody talking in the room.
My
I
dad-
wanted to
my
bring that
dad-
I
to
know.
everybody's attention.
My
Make
phone
sure we knew
picks
that.
up every little noise.
Every-
Right.
Everything. What really sucks. The bad thing
But
about
it really
the
sucks
new
that she's
iPhone,
talking shit on most
it
of us
has
the entire time.
Right.
It has 3 freaking cameras. And what
Just
sucks
kidding.
is that if there's lights or lasers, it goes. It
fucks with the camera.
jumps because it can't focus.
Yeah.
And I said, what's with this great new camera if it can't even focus with 3 cameras
Yeah.
because of the lights?
Must boss.
Sucks. That's
Well, I was
the only
saying-
bad thing about it.
Jilly's texting me.
Jilly Sunshine. Shout out to Jilly. Hi, Jilly. She's my best friend. So,
That
okay, go
does
ahead,
not
Ash. Go ahead and
best.
talk. I know we've listened to Brian for the last hour and a half.
Yeah, sorry. I do chat. So,
He chats a lot.
but I'm old.
He used to,
I'm not
We
afraid to
spent
say what I
numerous
gotta
hours
say.
on the
He
phone,
used
every
to-
phone call I've ever had with him.
he used to not
Good
do
stuff,
that.
good stuff.
The
Yeah,
first,
that's after
when
I
you
got
were
a hold of
Brothers
him, though.
on whatever. It was pulling teeth to get you to talk.
You know,
I'm sorry.
You were.
I have autism. It took me a long time to
So
do
figure
I.
out how to
And talked for the first 5 years of
be
my life.
okay with
I'm not
everybody.
kidding.
When I was a kid, you couldn't make me talk.
Oh my God! Well, you're making up for it now.
And I'm on like the high functioning part of Asperger's where
That's
high IQ, quick function.
Right.
Same here.
So most of the time, people are so stupid. I don't want to talk to them. Growing up, they're just like
There's
they
a whole lot
start
of
saying
them.
stuff. I'm just like, it's like, did any of your other
Stop.
parents' kids live? Like, it's like, are you really? What's wrong with you? You know.
Who's
So
got
I
the
just I learned
pistols
how to
and
be
pesos
quiet.
now?
And then I learned when I got older that if you really talk a lot, you scare people away. So it became my offense.
Right.
My offense was overwhelming people, so they would keep their distance and not
Yeah.
try to get too into my world.
Yeah.
And then I had
Leave
to
you
learn.
alone.
I think what I had to learn was to embrace what was happening, because you're getting played all the time on Clear Channel and
Right.
MS across the whole country.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting in my boxer briefs, like
Scratching
drinking
your
a
balls.
Pepsi at 10 o'clock at
Like
night when I
everybody
shouldn't
else.
be. You know, it's like
Right.
it doesn't register with you. It's not real.
Right.
It's not
it
real.
is, but it's not
Get
real.
your guitar.
The people are
Sure,
real.
yeah,
The
get your
people
guitar.
make
Let's
it
hear
real.
some stuff. Let's see you play, man.
real.
We need to shut Brian up, and the only way we're gonna do it because
Yeah.
he won't sing is you play.
Well, Jilly has a
She
second
needs-
opinion about shutting up.
What? Really? What did she say?
She said, "Shut up."
Never mind. I already know. I already know.
Go ahead.
Get your gun home. Come on.
Go ahead. Hey, don't want me.
I gotta chill.
Chill.
You won't be able to hear shit from this.
Why not?
It's quiet and it's fun.
No, it's quiet. That's okay.
I don't think Tommy Lee would have a problem making that loud.
No. I don't believe that you're gonna make that's gonna be quiet. I've heard you play.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it all night long.
long.
We also haven't played acoustically in a very long time, so
That's okay.
Right. We got
Just
the
play.
C-Force version.
Don't you
Just-
worry.
It's gonna
Hey,
be
you
fine.
know when you make mistakes, nobody else
Nobody else
knows.
does.
I don't think we've ever played acoustic.
not just me and you, no. We've done like the covers on like the
Kids are so
porch.
nice.
They're very
We did,
sweet. Yes, they are. They're really nice. When do you meet Jory?
Do you guys have an ugly edge anywhere? Like something's wrong?
Well, you know they don't like the
They
parents
haven't been-
hanging around.
They
but
haven't
otherwise-
been musicians long enough to have that dark side. You'll get it.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, no, they have it. We just don't see it.
I can
No,
see it in
they-
this
They
one
keep it-
here.
They keep it hidden. They're
It'll get you
kids.
somewhere weird quick.
Don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, well,
Probably.
I don't know.
Go
and when
ahead.
it does,
What do you want
What
to
should
do?
we play?
I have no idea.
You want to do one of your
everybody's
new
got
ones, or
that
you wanna do?
one dark album or
Are you
or
singing?
that
You're
one
the
not
singer,
dark
right?
album
He's
out of
the
all the
singer.
dark albums.
Give me some. You got something that'll make me feel
I don't
something?
know what you.
Let's do
What
it.
would be a good acoustic cover?
What's
good
the one you
acoustic?
just the one you're playing the most recent that you just wrote?
Masquerade.
Oh,
Masquerade.
geez, I don't know if I
Can you
do
do that one?
acoustic yet. That'd be like all off the fly.
If
Try
you
it.
if
Try
you
it,
want.
screw it.
I mean-
What about one of the songs that you recorded that's out there? It's just you playing.
Oh, just me.
Yeah. What about one of
I don't
those?
know any of those. I have like 7 or 8 albums that I recorded just in my room. So
Yeah.
I have no idea how to play any of them.
I know how that is. I've got
Mhm.
like 500 songs, and I couldn't tell
That
you.
is.
If I open up this phone to my voice memos,
Mm-hmm.
there's 500 recordings. There's songs
Yeah.
just waiting to be.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
What about across the road?
My
Can
major
you do
label
that one?
experience
Can
was
you do
having to
Across
come
the
up with
Road?
160
Yeah, I just don't do
songs
the
when I had
solo.
9.
That's good.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, just give me something that you
You
feel.
can if you
man.
want. Just keep,
Yeah.
if you want, that's good.
What?
If you want to do the solo, go for it.
I guess yeah.
Your best song, one of your best songs first, and one of your best songs last.
sentimental. You bought your house upon a hill across the river. It was accidental. The owner told you all the things that had happened there. Then you saw her. I don't know you, but I'll tell you everything and more. You're all about the river. Stay away, you might just lose your life if you approach the place. The river is a deadly place. You and your lover brought your kids to see the house across from the river. You warn your kids about the dangers that the woman said, however, disobey. I don't know you, but I'll tell you everything and more. You all about the river. Stay away, you might just lose your life if you approach the place. The river is a deadly place. I don't know you, but I'll tell you everything and more. You all about the river. Stay away, you might just lose your life if you approach the place. The river is a deadly place. Yes, in the river, into the city, through the suburbs, into the woods. Find the tower, find the river, jump to the river, run to the river, and the river, and the river, and the river, and the river.
Wahoo!
Oh, you found your applause.
Yes, I did. I found it.
Nice.
Well, it's better than this, right?
Oh, that beats the dog shit out of it.
Well, they changed the buttons around. Usually it's right there.
It's you guys are so easy to listen to, man. It's like close your eyes and vibe out type shit. You know what I mean? I dig it.
Wow, it's
The,
great.
your
Oh,
playing's
another
real
one?
well disciplined too.
You got another one?
Yeah, we can do.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think? Soft serve?
Yeah. Wait.
Slow it down a little bit. like old version?
We could, or
Acoustic version.
what about Evergreen?
Let's do
Evergreen?
Evergreen?
Yeah, I can do that.
Me too. Oh, Veins are the cries of a newborn, restless and hungry for nurture. Mother is no longer a caretaker. Father is no longer a wage worker. Shoplifting, steal from the rich, keep for himself. Boys to the streets, so anguish. Cold-hearted grief, so dangerous. Everything you see is not what it seems.
sure you shout out to Jilly.
It's damn good.
I
We got-
just
we-
did.
yeah, we got-
I just did just shout out to Jilly Sunshine, of course.
She's the best.
She
That's
is
great,
the
guys.
best.
Thank
She's
you.
the bomb. That was 2 members from RoseMary. The third one is
3
held
more.
hostage by his
Brilliant.
family on vacation.
Brilliant.
I just
so-
love that I'm still at 53 being able to play with bands
Thank you for the
who have the probability
Do you
for
want
one of the
World
members to
domination.
be being held captive by mom and dad.
Yes.
Isn't that great? It's like, that's how I know this is full circle. It's like, I'm actually playing a show with like guys that are that young, and
Oh,
it's
I
like,
know.
that's awesome. That feels so
It
good.
really is.
And these guys are friends with Misplaced Religion. You guys played with
Those
them
guys are
before.
awesome.
Yeah, it was
They're-
good to be
they're
there too.
fun, they're great.
And I just
Man,
don't
they played
know
the
what
Anthrax
the
and
order's
stuff.
gonna be yet
Right.
because it's not. I don't get to pick that stuff.
Are you familiar
Yeah.
with Sonic Candy? Have you guys played with them? Do you know
No,
who they
I've
are?
never met him, never heard of him.
No, I don't think I've heard them
Looking
either.
forward to seeing him.
No.
I've heard good things, but I don't think I've ever saw them.
Yeah,
That's good.
they've got it. They've got pretty good Facebook presence,
Yeah.
and they're it's a girl,
Yeah.
female singer.
I want to hear him.
They got a female
Where can we hear
keyboard
'em?
player, and that's and I feel so horrible about this, but I think we've actually played a gig with them at one point, and I want to say maybe it was down at the Naked Bike Ride when we played down at what was the club that was really big down there at the time.
You guys did a naked bike ride here?
There was. You never heard of the Naked?
I've
Down
heard,
in the
yeah, I've
Grove.
heard of it other places. I've never
Down
seen
in-
it here in St.
down in
Louis.
the Grove.
Oh, was it
They do it in Austin. They've
Yeah.
done
It ain't all that. Trust me, I've seen it.
Well,
It's
let
like,
me just tell you, it's like
put your clothes
it
on,
sounds
please.
like a good idea till you're actually there.
Right, I know.
Those aren't the naked bike riders you want to see.
Oh my gosh, my mic fell off. Speaking of naked bike rides, dang it. Okay, so I gotta give props to. Oh, we gotta talk about who's playing where this weekend. So let's see. Tuesday night, of course, tomorrow night, the best open jam, Diamond Music Hall. Yours truly, I'm the host. We've got a killer house band. Stephen Winter is our guest tomorrow night. Keyboard
He's my buddy.
guy. He is.
He
freaking
is
awesome.
absolutely my buddy.
Talk about hysterical.
Joe's
That-
funny.
That
Him and
guy
I are
is
so
funny. He's
different
hilarious.
politically, but we have the most respectful conversations
Oh,
all
he's-
the time. And I love the guy.
Oh,
I
he's
absolutely
awesome.
love him. And so we met a year ago on accident at a winery visit with Sonny,
Right.
and I love the guy.
Oh, he's great.
Love him.
Steve Hall, Kevin Lehman, John Eschenbrenner, Bobby Taylor, and Yummy Rob Sherman. So
Love them all.
I know they're freaking great. Let's see. Friday night, Battery, a tribute to Metallica, and Rock Bottom's playing at Diamond, which is awesome. And Saturday night, Divine Sorrow. What?
Who are those guys?
I know. Who are those clowns?
They sound dark.
They are.
But like though.
They're stupid.
Stupid dark.
They're stupid. Sonic Candy, Misplaced Religion, and of course Rosemary. Charlotte Pub, Friday night, Hot Kool-Aid, and Saturday is Destroy the Future. Have you heard of them?
I'm not.
My Kool-Aid.
Somebody
It's
said
gonna be awesome.
something to me about that band. Just this week, I got 2 of my friends. They're trying to see if I'll play
Your two
some.
friends? Your only two friends?
I only got one.
I
I've
know.
only got one
You
good
can't
friend.
count your
said I
hands.
was your
You
best
can't
friend.
count your hands.
I can't. I can't find them. They're, but they said something about some club that wants us to come over there and play. But it sounds like they have like 2 15-inch speakers, and I don't think we're gonna be able to play that gig.
And free
I think
beer.
It's gonna be all right.
No, they're just
No,
like,
it'll be
hey,
okay.
there's a little stage in the corner. It's like an 8x8. Is that big enough? Well, it's almost big enough for Mike's rig.
Y'all heard it. Divine Sorrow at that one club with free beer.
Oh yeah.
I know. At that one club.
You know that one place with the bar?
That one place at the bar.
two
that has the
15-inch
bar.
speakers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 2 15-inch speakers.
Definitely like their stuff.
Killer.
I've been there before.
I know. I know. I've been there way too many
We
times.
walk in. I'm like, what's going on?
And let's see, July 29th, Rosemary
Yeah.
is headlining at Diamond Music Hall.
I am psyched for that.
That is so freaking
I'm
awesome.
psyched for the
and
10th through.
who
Holy
is
crap, that's
who you
gonna
got?
be
Who's
insane.
playing with you guys?
Null and Void and Misplaced Religion.
How about that?
Is this your first headlining show?
Hey,
Is
I-
that
Yeah, it's so
I see Divine Sorrow in that bill.
because
We
we
didn't
don't
get
want
invited.
because you won't shut up.
We never
Give me a
get
green
invited
room
for
pass.
that.
You're not invited. This
I
is
know,
this
we're
is,
never invited.
This is a kids only.
Okay.
This is a kids only skate.
This is Jeffrey Epstein only.
Oh.
What? Too soon? Too soon?
That's your gig. Weirdo.
Too soon.
How young is your wife? Well, yeah.
Younger than you.
I know.
Oh!
Everybody's younger than me. I have no problem with that. I don't care. Get off my lawn. I was trying to tell that other clown who was in here earlier tonight. Wow. He was full of himself all day long. What was his name?
Crystal
was
It's just a show up.
what was it? Freebird Jr.
After that, they're playing Parrots. They have their own gig at Parrots.
Yeah, 7th, right? August.
August the 7th. And then what else? We're supposed to be going to Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be September. It was like 47 bands. It's all original artists.
Oh man, we're going. It's
Connor,
somewhere else.
That
didn't-
was from
It's somewhere else.
Didn't we
Yeah,
get
it's,
another gig
Cyrus, remember
Larger
he
than
was on
life,
the
or
radio?
louder
Yeah.
than life?
What?
Not
Is
the.
it the louder than life?
Because Jory sent
We've
it.
had so many of them.
I don't know.
That's when?
Jory sent a thing about it. Hold on.
No, this is I don't know what it's called, but no, it's
Oh, it's in Indiana.
It's a
Well, it's a
radio.
tour.
Oh yeah, August 14th.
Radio DJ. His name is, he goes by the
Where
name of
is it?
Cyrus.
Earth
His callers
That's
are
right.
Hugs
Okay.
by.
Yeah. I just heard
Hugs
about
by
that today.
Rose or
Actually, why I didn't
something.
know when it was.
Anyway, he's doing a concert in September, and he's got 47 bands playing. He
Sounds
said,
like you have 48.
Yeah,
bring
it's
an
3 days.
original band with you. Do you guys want to go?
I'll go.
Okay. Well, I'll ask him.
See
He said,
if
how
they
many?
want us.
He said, how many bands
My
you want to
brother's
bring? I
got a
said,
band.
all of them.
I want to bring all of them.
I want to
Yes.
bring all
Is
of them.
that
It's
cool?
all original artists.
On that topic, also, I have a proposition for
Oh.
pretty much the whole city.
Okay.
So my buddy Paul has a lot of property, and he's gonna try and get the insurance for it. But we would like to put on a festival out there if we can get it together.
Sure.
If you need any help, give us all a call.
Everybody in the area, every local band from St. Louis, we're gonna have all of our friends there, all the bands we know pretty well. We got people to run it. We just need the insurance part done, and then we need the people.
I have a thing to add on to this too.
for it.
So we actually started a thing. It was us, Misplaced Religion, Bleach,
Scamps.
Scamps. They're from some other part. Vague Topic and Amethyst.
Yeah,
Amethyst. Awesome.
Any other bands?
I think that's it.
So we have like a total of 6 bands that we actually started a group chat with. And
All of us are in it.
what
It's
we've
crazy.
Yeah, it's like 20, almost 30 people.
Yeah.
But we've been doing this, and we're trying to make our own, like, I don't know, like scene type thing. We
Want to
call
bring
it,
it back to St. Louis.
yeah, we've been calling it STL Vibe
Okay.
because it's like all the local STL, like St. Louis bands and stuff, but like we're all different genres, so it's
Yeah,
like
there's not one
really
sound
there's not
from here. It's
one
like-
sound. It's so it's just like vibe.
And it's all original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all original.
That's
So,
the name of
what
the
do you need, a
festival,
venue,
Vibe?
or you just need a place to have it?
We have the venue. We have the place. We just need.
Your licenses and your permits,
Yeah, we got
whatever you
we
need.
got to get all the boring shit out of the way, basically.
Well, then
All the
we'll
legal-
talk about it afterwards. I can do
Important
that.
things like insurance
do
and
that.
those types of things.
Things that keep us from going to prison.
So what are we looking at here? We're looking at
You're not going to
Vibe Fest.
prison. This is not brain surgery. Trust me.
Oh, no.
Cat would be
But-
the one going to prison.
Yeah, been there, done that. That's another story.
I got a liquor license.
Sure.
This one time.
We
So this
even
is
have a
like-
bartender. We have a bartender.
That's
We have
awesome.
everybody. We just
That's-
need the boring crap.
All right. Well,
There's really
thanks
not
for
a
the
lot of
invite. It
boring
sounds
crap.
great. I'll call you on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
So this is like the 3-year anniversary. We had the benefit for Mickey D. And this is a benefit
What
that
a-
I am.
what a-
This, I am
what
so
a-
proud of this thing. This is so near and dear to my heart. So Mickey
No
D, that's the T-shirt that I have on.
Hey.
He is a roadie friend of ours who, like me, he's been around forever and a day. But I mean, he's also he's a guitar tech for just about every guitar player in
Mickey
this town.
is supposed to be our guitar tech for the show this weekend.
He better be there
Like,
So yeah, we've been close to Mickey
forever and a day.
for love him.
You guys
ended
put
up
on a
with
hell of a
stage-
performance that day.
He
That
ended
was
up
really
with
cool.
stage 4 throat cancer
Oh, jeez.
3 years ago.
Oh,
And
He's had a really tough road.
it has been horrible. I mean, they literally have cut him up. He almost looks like Frankenstein the way they've cut him up and put him back
Wow.
together. But he's out of the woods. He's been through chemo. He's been through all the bullshit.
He's in
which is
remission?
good.
And Birdie
He's
has
been. Birdie's been a dream.
She's
so
been something.
freaking awesome.
His kids, his
and
daughter,
his
his
kids.
son.
His daughter and son, they're freaking awesome. So I did this benefit. This is how well loved this guy is. I threw it out on Facebook. We're doing a benefit for Mickey D. Blah blah blah. 25 bands immediately hit me up.
Wow.
Oh,
I
yeah.
ended up with, I think this is a world record, 39 bands playing at the Babylon in St. Peter's.
Holy
We had
crap.
2 stages, inside and out. I had a sound guy on each one, and we had a back line on each one. So it was
Wow.
all plug and play.
Holy
In other
crap.
words, the band got up and played for 20 minutes, and it was 15-minute changeover.
Wow.
Get up, plug in, get off. Get up,
Yeah.
plug in. Both stages. And it started at around noon, and we were done by 8:30,
Holy
which is
crap.
pretty
It was
damn
so
good.
awesome.
That's not
And guess
bad.
what?
I
The
flew
only
in from
band-
California to watch that show.
We were playing the same
there.
gear. Guess
Same
who's the
gig.
only band that was shaking shit off of the walls, and they made us turn
I
down all
know,
the
right?
gear. We didn't turn anything up. We
No,
just
they
sat
didn't.
there and played.
No,
I was
uh,
like, all of a sudden they're just like,
Jerry
we gotta
was
turn
running
that shit
silent.
down. I'm like, we didn't touch it.
Why
We didn't
not?
touch it.
No,
it
it blew me away. There was something super, super special about that day. It's something really special about you guys' performance that day because you guys were playing on some of other people's gear. So
All their gear, yeah. We
It
didn't
was
all of it,
everybody's
right? So
I
I
hate that.
So,
I
so
hate
you were
this.
looking at me like, like this, and Sonny was like, check out this, check out this foot pedal forward and all this stuff. He's like, oh my god,
I hate
it's
playing
like-
on other drum
What are
sets.
we gonna do with
I
it?
despise
I
it.
know.
And it was amazing. That was an amazing day.
So,
It really
and
was.
I mean, I got to give props to number one, of course, rest in peace, Mr. Rob Fox. He showed
Yeah.
up. They had a gig. Contagious had a gig in friggin' Columbia the night before.
Mm.
They all get shit-faced hammered after their
Oh,
gigs.
yeah.
Rob pulled up in a van with his buddy, and they literally unloaded the stage for outside. He was so friggin' hungover. They built the stage, got it
that
ready
was
to
everybody.
go,
Wow.
and then John Scheitower did sound on the outside. I had Jerry Bosher doing sound on the
love
inside.
Jerry.
What was he doing, like
And
Savage
we
Amusement
were-
out there while Jerry was doing them and Steve Sicaro?
No. We had bands on stage and off in
Yeah.
15.
I
They
know,
had a
it was
15-minute
nuts. I was
window.
trying to catch
I
this
mean, rolling
person
them
and
in
that
and
person.
rolling them out, and then there was also a car show going on and a dog show going on at the same
whole
time
dog
in
and
the
pony
parking
show.
lot. In the same parking lot because the Babylon double booked it, and so we decided to throw all the gigs together.
Yeah.
Well, the dog show and the car show got mad at us, and I got ripped a new ass on
You know,
my
how do you get
Facebook.
mad at somebody for, bringing up
Oh, I got
having a
accused of
benefit to
kicking
benefit
dogs
others?
and scratching
that's
cars
dumb.
and all kinds. I was like, I don't have time to know where my ass
I
is
didn't see anybody
running
there who
between
was
the two
not having the
stages
time of their
to
life,
let
really.
alone, I mean, it was so horrible of those
Yeah.
people to badmouth me like they did, but they did.
Not even Elvis pleased everybody,
what it
darling.
is,
Don't
though.
worry about it.
Yeah, you can't please. You're not chocolate or bacon. You cannot please
No.
everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me tell you, Jerry Bosher.
That's the way it is.
So one of my best feelings in the entire world when I
Who
play.
doesn't love that
If
guy?
I look out, and Jerry Bosher does almost every one of our gigs,
Yes.
and I look out and I see Jerry there, for whatever reason, to
Jerry.
me that makes me feel like I've done something.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Because he's publicly been a huge supporter of this band,
Yes.
and he'll say something on Facebook, and like, and for whatever
He's always
reason,
been
like
like
when
that.
he says something like that about us, like that tickles me like better than anything because he's just such a talented guy.
He
Mark
is.
Crowell, like when I look on Facebook and Mark Crowell's got on a Divine Sorrow T-shirt,
Right.
I love that. Like all of a sudden I'm just like, you know what?
Right.
I love this. Now, Mark Crowell's pedal board. Mike was over looking at that thing, and I'm just like, dude, is that the space shuttle? What is going on
Oh,
over
I
there?
know.
It's like, I don't know. I
Ground
think I just
control
hit
to make
that
it
if I
talk.
want to be louder. It's like, fine.
I'm like, which ones stop, which ones go?
Houston,
Because
we have
guess
a
what?
problem.
And
No idea.
You need to stop and go in a Wawa, you're good.
And Sonny's over on Sam Bam's
Right.
gear, which is a little more organized.
Right.
But Mark's
still like a
amazing.
kid in a
Like,
candy
that dude
store.
just shows up with like 300 pedals and an
Holy
amp.
crap.
I
And he
know.
knows every song in the universe.
He
I mean, he
does.
really does.
And
It's like,
he's so you guys remember Mark?
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
he was the second guy that was playing guitar.
He's
He's
such
a
a
crazy,
good
insane
guy.
Super
guitarist.
sweet
I
guy.
don't know
Great
how.
guy.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
how
he knows all those songs.
He's
Well,
such
he's
a
just like,
total
yes.
pro.
in
that
30
he-
years,
My
you
head
know a
would
lot of
explode.
songs.
Yeah,
This is what a pro he
My
is.
head would
I am-
explode knowing that many songs. He knows a lot.
Well, he's been in so many
He can play
bands.
for 4 days
He
straight.
can't, well, you know what? I don't know if you guys know this about Mark Crowell. He's so freaking intelligent. He acts like a goofball, goo and all that crazy shit. But he used to write musical soundtracks for movies.
Really?
Literally. And I bug him all the time. I want his original music. He's like, I don't have it. I said, I'm coming over to your house. I'm going to burn it down until I find this CD.
Which always makes you
Yeah.
feel like opening the door.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
such a sweet
why not?
guy.
Come right in.
It's like Kat, she's drunk. I'm coming over.
Over there.
Hey, I just moved.
You have
I mean,
5 minutes to get
Everybody
ready.
already knows
I'm going
where
to
he
burn
is.
your house down.
When you discovered this, you must have been like,
But Mark Crowell is such a pro. Now I
Absolutely.
have seen plenty of guitar players who have other guitar players come up and play on their rigs, and they're assholes to him. Mark's like, here you go. This is what this does. This is what this does, and he will stay there until you get it. Remember?
Yeah, I
And
remember.
he will stay
Yeah.
there until you
Yeah.
get it, and then he's not gonna let you just play blind.
Right.
But I have seen some of these guitar players literally tell the wrong person or not say a word and drop a guitar in their hand and walk away, and I'm like,
I would literally kill
wow,
my parents
really?
to get guitar lessons.
Why
from
would you
Mark
want to
Crowe.
be that way?
Crowe.
Or
You
he
know?
tried to do that with Mike at the benefit a month ago, and Mike was just like, where's the solo boost? That's all I need. He's like, I ain't touching nothing else. That's it. So we were like on autopilot. But it was just
the
like,
solo button.
I just looked over at Mark's board. I'm like, I think he's got like 10 of everything over there. It takes like 4 people to lift that board in.
But he's ready. He's
Yeah.
prepared.
And
Looks
he's
like
got
a small
different ones
city
for
with
every
single
gig.
space.
He may need it.
He's got different stuff for every gig. He's got like 10 versions of that.
Right.
That was the
don't.
coolest thing I've ever seen.
But he makes it look effortless when he
Yeah.
plays, and he's such a super cool guy. And Sam Bam is not any better. He's just freaking awesome. Not any better. What am I saying?
That sounded.
Sam Bam. I didn't mean to say it sound negative, but I mean he's just as good.
He was
I mean,
awesome
he's
to watch.
great.
He was really
Sam
cool.
Bam.
I don't mean to make it sound negative either, but if you don't know the guy, you can't get that close to him. Because I've seen him probably about 25 times total. We
The
don't
first
have
first time I met Sam Bam,
conversations.
he saw us open
He's
for
so
Sebastian
unapproachable.
Bach. And he was so young.
Yeah.
And he hung out with,
His parents.
his parents and the what's her name? The younger girl. It's like his best friend.
Was it Gabby Ray or was it
No.
Shannon?
No, it's the other one that had the baby. Her mom is. I'll forget
Anyway, it
her.
doesn't matter.
She's a sweetheart.
Anyway.
But
The girl
then I
with
saw him,
the- yeah.
and he came up and he's just like, dude, I've been waiting to see you guys. I haven't talked to him in 8 years, but all of a sudden he's so polite, and he's got the right attitude to be a pro and to do what he does. And it's
Who were we
you
speaking?
got to be super
Sam
proud.
Bam.
Sam Bam.
Oh,
so
he-
you got to
he
be
is.
really
Professional,
proud
very
of him.
professional.
And he's a really great seasoned player. He's really dedicated to the whole concept of what he's doing. It's always good, and then you connect with him, and he's super nice still, and none of it's gone to his head. He's being a good guy.
No,
Nah,
he's.
he's-
I mean, I've told the story a million times. When I say it takes a
Is he the-
village,
Yep.
Charlotte basically raised Sam Bam.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to play. I remember seeing him at
Good
House
job.
of Rock when he first started
Good job,
playing
Judy.
around 13, 14 years old, and his dad would bring him in, and he's this quiet little kid with these big glasses.
Does
and
his father
little
play?
guitar. No.
Sheila
And he would-
Coloni's daughter.
Oh,
Doesn't have a
I
twin
don't
brother
remember
hiding
what
Sorry,
it
I
is,
didn't
but I
mean
know
to
who you're talking
about-
about.
yeah.
And he would stand up there and just play his heart out. I'm like, holy shit, this kid is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where he grew up playing. And then Mark Crowd taught him. There's another friend of ours, Mike Green, that plays with him.
He
I
had the right
he's
people
just-
to
he's got
mentor
the
him,
right
and it
people
really
to-
worked out awesome.
And when I still talk to him, I did an interview with him before he went to California, and he was a little shy. This time when he came back at 25, I re-interviewed him. I said, it's been 5 years, and he's like, yeah. I mean, he's still that kid, that sweet kid that I met,
That's what he should be.
and he's just a
He
nice
gets
guy.
it. He totally gets
He
it.
totally
Of
gets
course.
it.
He gets
You
it.
raised
And
him.
he's a total pro. And he had such a ball. He filled in for Mark Crowell Open Jam one night at Parrots, and he loved these guys.
It was awesome.
Man, these guys are so good. They've really got something.
He
I
blew,
said,
he
"Wow."
blew my mind that
So-
night.
He
Like
was,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
super
Just-
chill, super
Yeah.
professional. All the oh my god, he was so cool. Yeah.
And he was.
You guys will like Sonny when he plays too. He's just
Oh, yeah.
he's over there. He's got his glasses
Oh,
on.
guys, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
He's
he.
got his Nike tennis shoes on. I don't know. I've tried to dress him, but it doesn't work.
You can't.
There's
Can't
no
wear
need.
this, man.
There's
I
no
can't
need.
do anything about
It doesn't
Sonny,
matter.
we call him
Sonny's
the
just cool.
Sonny.
It's okay. We always make fun of him
No.
for dressing like
Like
Adam
the
Sandler.
Buddha or the Christ.
I always tell him I'm
That's
gonna
the
get like
Sonny.
the upside down cross contact lenses and like make him look evil.
You can't.
You can't, man. It
You
is
can't
what it
make
is,
him
man.
look evil at all. Sonny's just
He lights up a
nice.
room
Right.
just the way he
Just a
is,
sweet
man.
guy.
He really does.
Well,
The
you guys would
uh,
love to at practice. We bust his balls so hard.
Do you?
It's But it's like we bust each other's balls so hard, it's ridiculous. But he's just always pleasant.
Oh, we want
He's
some
such-
we want
he's-
some
he's my
outtake
buddy.
clips of that.
You know what? If people sat in that room with us and heard us busting balls the way we bust balls, you would think that we all hated each other. Because
same way with
nothing
us.
That's the
is
same.
sacred.
Yeah, that's the same
Nothing
way.
is
Give us an
sacred
example.
inside that room.
If you were gonna rip on Mike, one of these, that, what'd you call it?
Justin told us a story one time that was so ridiculous. And it's part of his life. It's a dark
There once
chapter.
was a man from that
And Mike
pocket.
and I looked at it. So it's the second time Justin came to play with us. And we gave him the gig already. And after he told us this story, we're kind of like, maybe we should have thought about this, like for another audition or something. And then, but Mike looks at me, I look at him, and he goes, "I got nothing." If Mike Sikorsky looks at me and says,
Says,
I got nothing,
He has
like
nothing.
It's like
I mean, we were just staring at each other, just like,
Eddie
He told us this super personal story of what happened to his mom
Right.
when he was getting, and it's horrible.
Yes, it is. He told me.
It's a murder.
Yes.
Okay.
wow.
And
Okay.
It's bad.
and it's horrible. But he told us this, and I mean, I'm thinking second audition stuff. We're talking about like, hey, how do you
No,
switch
you guys
over?
are really
from,
personable.
How are we
You guys
switching
are really
over from
person- you are,
6'4"
Sonny
into
is.
that
For sure.
2'3"? What are we doing with that? And
Right.
he's kind of like, and he just said it like it was nothing.
Sometimes it's easier to say.
And we're
than
standing there,
say
and even
something
Sonny's
true.
over there, and you know Sonny's not going to say anything because Sonny's
You guys
trying
want
to
to
be.
see a dead body?
Sonny's Jesus. He's over there.
Right.
He's trying to go. Oh, how can I make this better? And Mike and I are like,
Dude.
who just put acid in our water? Because something happened that I don't
Amen.
understand. He's
Somebody spiked
But
my
I love
measure.
Justin now. It's like, but I mean, it did take me a while to figure him out.
He's super sweet. He's just very trusting.
You know what? And you guys,
He really is.
I
He's
don't
very
really know the other guys
trusting.
too well as much as I know you and Sonny, but you guys are really personable guys. I mean,
We try.
yeah, I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, they
Long-
can be assholes.
Long,
when
long
they
as you
wanna
don't
be.
catch us, long as you don't catch us at nap time.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Let the old farts nap.
Exactly. Okay, you guys. Episode. What are we? Episode 74.
Are we gonna do another? Are we gonna do another
Episode
song?
74.
Episode 74. Divine Sorrow, RoseMary in the house, and they are playing Saturday night at Diamond Music Hall with Misplaced Religion and Sonic Candy. We are going to leave out. It's actually 9/11 right now with the song Swine.
Stay tuned for Raul's Animal Kingdom right here. Hey, how about that? All
Divine
right.
Sorrow. Shut up, Mickey. God damn, shut up.
My beautiful
another
song about how ugly some people really are. And
I would play-
always play this.
they're always pretty on the outside.
Yes,
These are my favorite type of songs.
So,
Tonight we're teaching black wires
Oh, I'm comparing
how to
with-
bob
thank you,
or
Brian.
places.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you
for
dear.
being here,
No,
guys.
thank
Oh, the
you.
way you smell, and I'm gonna tell you, I like the shirt, but it's like a booby shirt.
Is it? Well, you know, it
You
happens.
smell good, and your boobies are there.
Well,
What's
you
going
know,
on?
it's called a push-up
What is
bra.
it?
It works sometimes.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's all
why
right.
not? Well, hey, thanks.
It just matters what they look like from out here. I'm a married man.
What did you say that was again?
What?
Your
Huh?
your
What?
beautiful scent, your lovely scent that you're wearing.
Mania.
Mania
Armani?
by Armani. Yes.
It smells
They
like
don't
money.
even sell it anymore in the stores. You have to
No,
buy
I
it
haven't,
online.
I haven't seen a
Costs
commercial
extra.
for it
Probably
ever.
causes a lot of problems.
I don't know.
It's
I
so
don't
expensive
care.
they don't even put it on TV.
Mania.
Yes. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Connor from Rosemary.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Courtney.
It's always fun when you come by.
Shut up, Mickey. Thank you, George. Thank you,
And we're gonna actually
Tweezy.
crank this song.
And
We're
we
gonna
are
crank this
actually
As loud as it
gonna play
freaking
this
goes, and I'm
song.
not
You
kidding.
ready?
Bump it all the way up.
I don't know if
to
we need to bump
4.
it all the way up.
5.
Where is it?
I don't want to scare.
You cannot feel anything that holds us down to reasoning. this beauty unattainable. Every single moment of your misery can pull you from a simple dream that everything is beautiful. Swine, filthy in the innocence inside. Open up and see this as you cannot fill the empty space inside. You will not live until you learn to fly in time. Living in melancholy make-believe, eternally preconceived when everything is beautiful. Every single moment of sincerity is blinded with uncertainty.